Episode 63, Critically Unfocused Podcast. We back and direct. We tried to get sexy on y'all real quick right there in the intro, but
we're gonna act like that never happened. We're gonna chop that right at.
Actually, that might be a good point. 4:36. All right.
Yeah, we can chop that right at.
About the 4-minute mark. Okay, so what's cracking? You know, boys is back. Been a bit of a week. You know, NBA free agency kicked off, so that brings with it its own set of craziness. And whatnot.
That was wild.
Vegas is lit right now.
It's funny because this was the year that they were like, "Oh, everybody's going to stay on the teams that they're on. There's not going to be much movement. There's no big names." This shit blew up immediately.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I love it. I love chaos.
Who do y'all? I don't want to say blame, but kind of blame. Blame is the right word. Like, I feel like this sign your contract and just kick your way out of the place thing. Did that start with Anthony Davis?
I kind of feel like he was the first one.
Maybe. Yeah. I feel like somebody had to did it before him, though.
He did it before Paul George, right?
Ooh.
Paul George didn't really take it. Yeah, because he was I guess him and Paul George did at the same time.
Paul George did though. Yeah, it was that offseason when Kawhi said he's going to the Clippers. Yeah, Paul George did, but his went quick though. Like he said he wanted out, and he was gone like I feel like in the next week. Maybe it was the same day.
I think it was the next day. It was like there was a message that he asked, and then he was gone. I feel like there might have been someone else that did that, but I feel like Paul George and AD were the first two big ones, and it's been downhill ever since.
Yeah.
Like the sign and immediately want to get the fuck up out of there.
Yep.
But like it's so interesting that players are so unwilling to stick out situations that like I guess the Nets one's probably the worst of all. And I mean AD was there for a while, but like I don't know, players are unlike Damian Lillard, and they're running from the grind, man. You hate to see it.
And it is kind of just how much does what like your reputation versus like the chance at winning, like which one matters more to you, sort of. Because all the money's guaranteed, right? So it's like whether Dame like signs his contracts and chooses to stay there, or he signs the contract and like asks for a trade, the money's the same. It don't matter. So it just kind of is how you want to be viewed. I don't necessarily feel like the points that Dame gets socially are any better than how much points KD gets socially, or Kyrie even, as much as he gets destroyed. Like, so
I feel like with anything in NBA that we like, after a while it gets to like its precipice and then it's downhill. And I think the perfect example is like players like Donovan Mitchell and John Morant, where it's like, wow, this young, bouncy, really athletic guy is so great. I love this. This is great. Oh, he lost 2 playoff games. He's probably the worst player in the league and shouldn't be on in the NBA at all. Like, kind of with Dame, it was like, man, it's super respectful that he keeps staying in Portland, and now all of a sudden you're a fucking idiot because you didn't leave Portland. And KD don't really let nothing last long enough to get to that point. He's like, he started to curry some good favor for being in Brooklyn, and like, oh man, he's like being the adult in this situation. He was like, yeah, I'm trying to go home. Actually, I'm trying to get the fuck up out of here. He is.
I will say though, like about KD, one thing you can say about him for sure is that like he puts basketball above anything else. Like, the idea of like he got sold on Brooklyn from the idea of like him playing with Kyrie. Like that was fun in his head enough to the point where it's like, yeah, that sounds like a great time to play basketball. I'm gonna go do that. And then this year was not fun. Yeah, this year was not fun at all. So he's like, oh well, actually, I think I want to go somewhere else where I can go have some fun and play some basketball.
Yeah, it's definitely more commendable than some of these other situations. But yeah,
you got to give up for KD in a trade now, though. We saw what Gobert went for. Like, God damn.
That ass.
Honestly, I feel like because of the timing of it and like the way like the league is going right now, I feel like it's gonna be less than we think. Like it's still gonna be a lot. I just feel like it's not when we have these lead ups of like, hey, KD's like been making us stink for like 6 months. Like you should start clearing the deck and like making shit shake preparing to have your shot versus like it seemed fine 90 days ago. Shit, it seemed fine 14 days ago. And then it was like, oh, he's probably going to get rid of I won't say 14 days ago.
We had a topic on this show where I asked y'all because there was that story that came out like a month ago about like him not talking to the Nets front office since the smoke, right?
Yeah.
I asked like, do y'all think there's smoke or not? And I think I said it was nothing. I thought it was the media just doing whatever the fuck they were doing. I think one of y'all or both of y'all said that you thought it was smoke. So y'all were onto it.
Yeah.
If I remember that correctly.
That didn't call anybody. That was just straight. Like you didn't talk to anybody after the interview.
So
but yeah,
I mean,
we say teams had like 30 days to like focused, but usually in these situations, you got like half the season to like we're trading players, we're acquiring picks to like ramp up. I don't know if anybody has the package right now where it's like, oh, we're trading you 8 first and this guy and this guy. Like all these guys that just got signed to their maxes can't be traded. Like they were talking about.
I'm gonna tell you.
Players that like there's certain players that can't be on the team if Ben Simmons, like Bam can't be on the team with Ben Simmons, De'Aaron Fox can't, Booker can't, like there's hella players that can't even be traded there for contract stuff. They said there's a rule with NBA contracts where if you sign a max off of your rookie deal, you can't play like be traded to a team with another player that signed a max off a rookie deal. So like any of the guys.
Oh, you can't have 2 Rose Rules guys or something.
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
It limits.
I didn't know that either.
Like teams might not assign the guy to a max. It's like, oh, we can trade him here and like make this work. So I think it's going to be a smaller deal because of that.
No, I mean, so I don't think this will happen just because there's more to it than just basketball shit. But the Warriors would be the perfect spot to trade for him because they could send Wiggins, Poole, Wiseman, Moody, all them young dudes who are like the next generation of the team. Send them out, and Wiggins has the contract enough to make the money wise fit. And then you already know KD and the Warriors works. Like,
yep. It absolutely won't happen for the more than basketball reasons, and I feel like it wouldn't be KD that said no. Like I feel that like the guys they would be like,
they're like, yeah, like no, we're not doing this again.
I feel like KD would be like, no, I'm just trying to hoop, bro. Like, y'all trying to hoop again? And they're like, fuck you. We're never talking to you again.
I think that the difference, the only reason I could see them maybe making it happen if KD was into it would be that they have control over him for the next 4 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. As much as it sucked to see it the first time, especially being a LeBron fan wanting Cleveland to win, it would be one of the best story arcs. Like it's like an anime or some shit where the villain leaves.
He's like, all right, man, I realized I fucked up. Can we?
That would be fire. I would fucking love to see that. Holy shit. What do you guys think is gonna happen with Kyrie? Like, I don't
think he's gonna be the best tandem of all time.
You said what?
Him and Ben Simmons going to end up being the best tandem of all time.
That would be hilarious. He just throwing lobs at Ben Simmons and shit. Yeah, so they were saying like Westbrook and picks for him is like people thinking he's gonna go to the Lakers already. No one's gonna want to trade for him.
You got to get out the Lakers subreddit, bro.
That's not in the Lakers subreddit. That was on ESPN.
That's basically the Lakers subreddit on TV.
Good. Because they were just saying, like, if he's, like, talking about trying to force his way to the Lakers, does anybody want to trade for the guy who's going to bring a bunch of drama? Unlike Paul George was like, we trade for him and he wants to go to the Lakers, we can probably win him over. I don't know if anybody wants to deal with Kyrie, like, sitting there like, I'm not playing any basketball until I get to play with LeBron James. But because I don't know what else. Who else can trade $36 million worth?
There's not a bunch of drama with Kyrie. There's really not. Like he didn't play basketball because he didn't get the shot. He didn't say anything else about it after that. He put out
that was about it, really. Like I'm not.
Yeah, he put out a all A11 in tweet, A11 even or whatever the hell he said when he signed his option, which he should do regardless of whether or not he's gonna stay there or leave there, because only way he's getting that much money is if he signs that option, right? So
we can say there's not a lot of drama with Kyrie, but that's not the public perception, and I don't think that's the perception of the NBA. Like, and that's what matters. Perception is what matters. Like,
I guess so, but
people do or don't want to work with you.
I don't know if it really matters as far as Deshaun Watson got $230 million. Like, people don't really care if they can get you in a room and feel like you're still going to help them win games.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I think people don't think that about Kyrie. I don't think they think it's overcomable. But we'll see. We'll see.
When he gave the Magic 62 or whatever the fuck on like 15 shots, I think people were like, "All right, we can kind of do this."
Yeah, sure. We'll see.
And it's still a wizard with the ball. So
yeah. That being said, I have no idea where he ends up because they're like, the 1 year thing. The fact that like right now everything is cool, like he could probably play anywhere except Canada, but you never know what's going to happen in the fall. Yeah, I don't know who's going to sign up for that right now and secure him long term off of. I don't know. Hell of a basketball player, but yeah, it's.
I wonder what the Nets are even expecting in return at this point. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's very.
I think it largely depends on what they get for KD. If they get like a haul for KD, like if it's above the Gobert package. Then what happens with Kyrie is probably less important. They probably want as much as they can get, but at the same time, it's like, well, whatever.
Rudy Gobert can never have no time to shine. He gets traded
to the Heat or the Mavericks. Watch.
But he said for the Heat, he wants Butler, Lowry, and Adebayo to still be there.
Nah, they get Larry, big ass out of there.
Lowry, big ass out of there.
I got here, old nigga.
It's gonna be Lowry, Duncan Robinson, and Tyler Hero,
and a bunch of money.
I'm trying to find the tweet that has all the stuff that Rudy Gobert was traded for because it is a lot.
It's 4 first.
It's 4 first, basically one every other year until 2029, plus Malik Beasley, Pat Beverly, Walker Kessler, who was their first round pick this year, and Jarrett Vanderbilt, who was their first round pick. I think
Federal Way legend. So the Decatur High School legend.
4 players and 4 first round picks unprotected for Rudy Gobert. And on the same day that they gave Karl Anthony Towns a supermax, they traded for another center. They changed or got another center who also is on a supermax, which is absurd. Like you mentioned earlier, Karl Anthony Towns isn't really known for being like a super post player, so they can make it work that way, which could help the Rudy getting played off the floor if you got another big who can be out on the perimeter, not having to run away from the basket. I'm just interested to see how that's going to look. That was a fucking haul for a guy who 3 years in a row has been played off the court in the playoffs.
No, it's pretty insane. Holy shit.
Absurd.
Yeah.
That's
gonna be interesting to see how that shit look.
Did y'all know Jeff Saturday played for the Packers?
I know he did play for somebody else besides the Colts.
Oh, no. No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Is that the only other team he played for besides the Colts?
I don't know. I just looked him up for the 63, and he has even the Pro Bowl with the Packers G on his jersey. I'm like, what?
Wow. Well, it's got to be 1 year, I'm sure. Damn,
yeah.
I did not know that.
2013.
The more you know.
Talk about post career body though. He got it done.
Bruh. A lot of them linemen begin small. Have you seen how smaller Joe Thomas is?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because
they say they eat crazy ass diets when they're in the league.
Yeah, they probably do. All that eating and lifting. Dude, lineman, man, offensive linemen are some of the biggest motherfuckers ever. And they be crazy ass fans really want to fight, be mad and angry at some of their team's linemen, which is insane.
I bet he was a cute ass baby.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm
random.
I don't know what to say.
Shit. Where y'all think KD end up?
Portland.
I feel like Phoenix is the move.
Oh, Phoenix.
Phoenix said they won't trade him there unless they get Booker, or unless Brooklyn said they're not trading KD there unless they get Booker return.
That's what you can say that, but what else? Who else is offering something better? And if you could get Bridges, Cam Thomas, Ayton, and a bunch of picks that they don't care about, that's gonna be a lot harder when the alternatives is we'll send you Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum.
Dallas should try to get KD, pair him up with Luka.
And but I don't think Booker can be traded there for that rule that I was saying of if you sign the max off your rookie deal, you can't play with another player that did. So Booker and Simmons can't. Unless they have to move Simmons, then trade for Booker, then make that trade, and then obviously KD doesn't want to play there if Booker's not there. So either it's not gonna work or they ain't gonna get Booker, but that ain't happening. At least I don't.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Portland. I like Portland a lot, but I feel like they don't got the pieces like that. No,
definitely not.
You should have just went to the Knicks, bro.
That is very funny that they're DeAndre Jordan told us that the Knicks are so dysfunctional we shouldn't go play there, and within 3 years you go and collapse the whole fucking franchise because it was so dysfunctional. And I guess the dysfunction was kind of not necessarily the franchise, but I guess the game is the game.
We're so far from dysfunctional that people need to stop. We're good.
Yeah, y'all definitely have had a streak of
rational decisions.
DeAndre Jordan said it. That was the final word. He was in the building.
DeAndre Jordan kind of stinks, though.
Yeah.
That doesn't make his opinion invalid.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but you got
You're
to take
not
it with
good.
My bad, guys. My bad.
Yeah.
Well, man, he said stuff sucks over here.
Them the rules.
It's like
You bad at the sport, you can't comment.
Exactly.
So what other free agent moves or like signings or trades caught y'all attention? I really like that DeJounte Murray to Atlanta trade. Interested to see what his trade look like.
To Philly, I like that a lot. They're definitely going to win the championship now.
I like that.
Paying a nigga that brings more shoes to the game than points.
He's stealing your shoes.
PJ Tucker is definitely the reason sneakers app is broken.
Yeah. That nigga bring 8 pairs of shoes to the game and have 3 points. Like 5
I'm a big fan of everything Detroit has gotten done this offseason, man. Everything
Detroit's
gotten done the past few years, man. They've been
done a lot.
How many games did they win this year? Did they win over 15?
I think they were in the 20s.
I think they won 23 because I'm pretty sure they were like 23 or something like that.
Like 35 maybe next year.
That would be a nice league.
Question how many wins they got. Look at you. How about the Kings get?
I know they got Kevin Herter. I ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah, they got Malik Monk.
Oh yeah, that's cool. No, they're gonna be fun on 2K to the 3rd update. It's like,
why don't you pick a new team, dude? You feel like you got to be stuck to them like you was born into them or
because
something.
He barely even like that team.
Stop signing up for pain. You got trash ass team. Pick some new teams.
I don't like switching.
You got trash ass not fun teams. Pick some new teams.
Nah, man.
You got a point.
No, because I loved it so much growing up, man. It was just
you old as hell now. You ain't no growing up no more.
Yeah, nah, I can't do it, man. Because I know somebody from my childhood go, hey, that nigga like the Kings growing up. That nigga's a weirdo, and the people gonna call me.
I don't think they say you're weirdo because it's the fucking Kings. They be like,
what are the traditions from your childhood you stuck to right now? Probably not many.
Liking the Jags.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like switching. Like,
I know.
I like players, like that's fine here and there, but I don't need to be like a diehard fan of another team. Like,
I couldn't imagine. I would feel like I wouldn't even like watching sports if my favorite basketball team was winning. Like, if winning 35 games was like thank God.
Man, dude, like,
it's like, what's gonna be higher, our highest score or our win total? I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Oh God. That's just insane thing to actually have to think about.
Right when they started getting bad, that's when LeBron came into the league, and I was like, oh shit, well, this is an easy transition.
Yeah, you should have been a Cavs fan. Like, just abandon the whole Kings mindset.
Bron fans had it good. You got to beat teams with lots of teams. Hop around. It's fun times.
Nigga, he said when Bron came in the league, that's when 20 years of not like caring about the Kings because you've been watching LeBron. You don't need to be a fan of them.
Right? The Kings were still like decent. Like when Bron.
I promise you, the Kings will not fucking miss you if you just say like, you know what, I'm a fan of this team now.
Oh man, I'm not switching. I'm loyal to death do us part, man.
For what?
Why?
All my teams, man.
You and Dave have you ever seen the Kings play live?
Huh?
In the playoffs, we went to the same playoff game.
I've seen them more than once. I know I used to.
Also twice.
Like 3 times, maybe.
And those are all when the Sonics were here, so you haven't seen them live since you started.
3 times in almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
they don't come on TV.
Like once or twice.
Pick a new fucking team.
I'm never leaving the Jags.
Oh my God.
I'm at Florida State get. I'm never leaving none of my teams. The only hometown team I ever liked was the Mariners as a kid.
You know the Kings don't care as much about like their team as you do.
Yeah. Hey man, I got other shit to worry about. So when they good, I'll be there. But when they start sucking, I'm like, I got real life shit to worry about. It's easy.
I bet Mozzie's not a Kings fan.
Since LeBron came in the league, the Kings have had 2 seasons of winning 40 or more games. Both of those 2 seasons were immediately after LeBron came in the league, 04 and 05. And then since then, they have not had 40 wins. They got close in 2018. They had 39.
No, yeah, I know. Hey, man, I be looking from afar. When they be good, I'm like, all right, I can love y'all again.
Was you a big Jason Thompson guy?
Nah, like, man, dude. So, like,
was you a big Carl Landry guy?
So,
are these real people?
Was you a big Beno Udrih guy?
Landry was kind of nice on the Rockets for a little bit. Kevin Martin was my guy.
Beno Udrih.
And then I was a big Boogie guy. Then after Boogie, I'm like, man, fuck this. Yo, you know what player they drafted? I thought was gonna be it. That was gonna like restore my like super fandom.
Nick Stauskas.
Nigga, I thought Ben McLemore was gonna be him. I thought Ben McLemore was gonna be that guy.
I did too.
Willie
Trail. He was so cold his rookie year on 2K.
Yeah, Ben McLemore. I thought he was about to be that deal.
Oh my god. And then he sucked.
Ooh, Blake, how are you feeling about the Knicks giving Jalen Brunson, was it 104, I think, 106 or something like that?
Yeah, that's fine. Before they so I don't know where it's at now, but when people had it mocked up prior to free agency kicking off, it would have put him at the 39th highest paid player in the league. So, I mean, starting point guard.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
You like the fit though?
whatever.
Like you like the player on the team, or
no? But I'm ready.
That's what I'm asking.
Under 5 inside out scoring point guard. Yeah, sounds like a liability, but you feel me? Like, we gonna see what it is.
If you get playoff Brunson for 82 games, boy, y'all be able to be cooking.
There's no Donovan Mitchell in the East for him to target like that, though.
That's true. I was watching today, so somebody made a TikTok about it, and we talked about it a little yesterday. So Leon Rose, who is your guys' president of basketball operations, was his agent. His current agent is Leon Rose's son. Jalen Brunson's dad was Leon Rose's first client as an agent, who now works for the team. And I don't remember what the role was, some role. So like they're like got a little family familial triangle going on, and that's gonna be hard to give your homeboy's son $106 million. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And your son gets a cut of it. Let's talk about nepotism. I love to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty over here, to be honest. And like the tampering charge is coming. You just gotta kind of accept that. Like it's a thing.
Bro, everybody tampers, man.
No, you can't be in their face like this. Like, you know, like last year when it was like Lonzo signed like minute after the deadline hit or whatever, like that type of shit. You can't do that kind of stuff. Like in the Knicks, like brass, like the front office, were at like a Jazz versus Mavericks playoff game and shit. Like, and then it like all the other connections you just mentioned, like the tampering charge is coming. So
yeah,
it's fine. But
you gave him $106 million. The league, I think tampering only hit you at $50K, so the league gonna come and give you a slap on the wrist. Maybe take a second round pick, then it'll be all good.
Jalen Brunson's by far the best point guard they've had since like old man Jason Kidd. So you know it's
that 1 year Raymond Felton, but he was almost an all-star.
What was that? It was 08 or some shit.
It was the first year Amari got there because Raymond Felton was fucking hooping. He wasn't fat that year. I was like, damn, Raymond Felton balling this year.
I think Jason Kidd might have been after that.
Yeah, they had some old ass teams. They had They had Kenyon Martin on that team with them too. They tried to bring the net shit back.
Yeah. Pablo Prigioni.
Old ass Marcus Camby.
I've been thinking about Bradley Beal. You guys know so many names. It's incredible. Like I know some of these too, but you guys, your encyclopedia of basketball knowledge is impressive. Quite regular.
For me, it's honestly 2K, bro. Like just spending a lot of time on there. You see a lot of people.
It's just 2K following the shit around for so long.
Dog, I've been thinking about Bradley Beal, and like me as a poor, I feel like it would be such an easy decision to like keep taking, because I think he got like 5 years,
250 or whatever.
250, which like I don't even know how you could even start to fathom to say no to that amount of money at any point. But it's so crazy to see players that good. Like I don't give a single fuck about being on a winning team or like a playoff team at any point. I'm just gonna take the biggest bag I could possibly get. Like we always talk about the like, oh yeah, like he could take 30 million less. Who the fuck am I to tell you to take 30 million less?
Like 30 million is 30 million. That's hella less money.
30 million is 30 million, but when it's the difference between 220 and 250, I don't really know. As a poor, someone who's never had a million, but I feel like you could buy all the same things. You just might be able to buy a couple more. And then you could actually play some like fun basketball. It can't be fun to go to work every day knowing you're about to get fucked up. Or like
it is if you know you about to get your dick sucked after the game.
He's married.
His wife will probably do it because she's extremely rich. Or she might buy somebody to do it. She don't feel like that.
I wonder how come he didn't get nearly as much hate as Kyrie did for the not getting the vaccine shit, though. That's kind of crazy. But whatever.
Because he got to keep playing.
He lied about it, too.
If Stephen A. wasn't barking down his neck every single day, but it's all good.
It's because he got to play. If Brad
he wasn't barking down Aaron Rodgers' neck either. I don't know. Just the same thing.
Man, you already know what time it is, but we ain't going.
Turned it on every single day, and Kyrie. Well, Kyrie's turning on his teammates and letting them down. Like won't get the vaccine, but Aaron Rodgers and Bradley Beal just moving free. That's all good. Yeah.
Asiatic black man, you know what it is.
Yeah. I'm about to go get my Pan-African Atlanta Hawks hat here in a second. I'm feeling the anger inside of myself.
We know Stephen A. Why he didn't want to go on nobody else. It's all good though.
Yep, that combined with this shirt might start something.
Oh shit!
You're wearing like the most untan African shirt possible.
He's African. He's not even Pan-African. He's just African.
He African. He just hate Africans too a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah, his brother a fucking cornball though.
I'd be forgetting he had a brother.
I think he tries to.
Oh, but dog,
imagine having a sibling and hating their guts. That's crazy.
I feel like if I was Miles Bridges, who just got arrested on felony domestic violence
hold on.
Say it loud too.
Fuck Miles Bridges, for real. Like, you fucking corny piece of shit. You beat your wife in front of your kid. Fuck you, for real. Like, no, that's not cool.
His kid's describing like, oh, daddy and mommy are fighting. And
your kid thinks that behavior is like semi-normal now. That's what like fathers do to mothers and shit like that. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're putting out there inside the world, what the kid's gonna grow up and do in the next generation. Like, no, fuck you. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
And
yeah, he's trash.
To do that in front of your kid, like, you
beat your wife, period, not just in front of your kid. You beat your wife, period.
Yeah,
fuck
for
that.
sure.
No, trash.
And you're so incredibly rich, on the precipice of becoming like life-changing, like setting your kids up for the rest of their life, rich. You get arrested on the day that you could possibly sign a contract to like take care of that woman and your kid for the rest of their lives, take care of your mom. His mom probably looking at houses and thinking about retiring, all this shit. My baby about to get 4 years, $100 million too. And then it comes out that you broke your baby mom's or your wife's nose and her fractured her wrist and all this, that, and the third in front of your kid.
Get another kind of 4 years.
That's crazy. He got to kill himself. He need to kill himself.
I said it, man. He been he worried about looking cool, man. Bro, if I had like max contract shit like that, I would not be rapping about that kind of shit, bro. Because you already know that shit's gonna come up in like negotiations and all that.
Of course. Hey, Miles, can you tell us why us as Detroit?
I'd be rapping like Chance the Rapper and Lecrae, bro.
When we see you posted a cup of lean and a blunt last week, and you rap in Detroit where you're from. Like, why should we give you a bunch of money?
Nigga, all my social media would just be me fucking making gingerbread houses and playing Madden with kids at the hospitals and shit, bro. I wouldn't be doing none of that shit, bro.
Russell Wilson social media.
Yeah.
I told
he should link up with him for the rebrand.
If either of you would have made it to the league, I would have had one job, and it would be to follow you niggas around and slap the shit out of you when you start doing dumb shit. You pull a phone out when you cheating on your girl or something like that, I'm slapping you. You tell me to get on Instagram and look for the 50th masseuse, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
50th masseuse. Nah, man.
Yo.
He trying to be cool, man. Dog, I don't know what his money or what his NBA situation looked like, but even besides the money, it's just you can't be beating on like, man, you can't be beating your fucking wife in front of your
kid. No, period. I don't care what the fuck your profession is. One, hitting your spouse is corny shit. Hitting your spouse in front of your kids is like super corny, lame shit. Because now, like, not only are you fucking up one person, you're fucking up two people, possibly three, because you don't know what your kid's going to grow up and do to somebody else because they think that behavior is normal. Like, his kid was still calling him daddy and thinking, like, daddy's being mean to mommy. Daddy threw mommy's phone out the window. Mm-hmm. Daddy was choking mommy.
They're fighting.
Daddy and told him stop being mean to mommy. Like, they were fighting or whatever. Like, your kid's talking like this shit is normal. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing to him and what he's going to end up doing to someone else. Like, God forbid, hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully, like, someone talks to him and realizes, like, what the fuck? Like, that's wrong. Don't do that type of shit. But you just never know. Like, those are like building block moments in somebody's life. Like, because that kid obviously still has some type of love for you. So it's like you cannot be that type of example. Like, don't do that shit. Period. Don't do that shit if you don't have a kid. But just don't do that shit. Like, getting kids involved. Like, nah, bro. Like, you might as well have hit the kid too at that point. Like, it's the same shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I find it hard to believe that someone that
shout out Tyreek
partner doesn't just hit their kids.
Oh my god.
You obviously got a lot of violence and rage that you need to get out.
And someone's want to say like I'm being double standard. I don't give it to anyone else like this the same way. You are 100% right. I don't see someone else's kid talking about the incident on a fucking iPad like I did with this one. So that's like I'm so charged up. That. My emotions are like on fire about this incident because I saw a kid talking about it, and that hits somewhere like deep with me. So yeah, I might not have for everybody else the same way, but I do for this one. And it's the same for everybody else, even if I don't say it because I don't have the same emotions from it. But
we are a known hater of women beaters on this podcast. If there was any confusion at any point ever,
I probably made some jokes about it though. I'm not even gonna lie. You pull some clips up probably and find out, man. I joke about everything. So there's that. But this is real me right now.
I've been telling you guys this forever, man. The ladies out there, when they want to deal with these super aggressive athletes that be cheating on them and cheating them wrong, just go on the internet and just look at 9 to 5. Like, yo, man, this might be the life.
A Maybach ain't worth the black eye, baby. Come on down to Jamal, not me.
That line made me think of when the text from Future got leaked, and he was like, "Do you want to cry in the Camry or cry in the Maybach?"
That's the best text message of all time.
Mm-hmm. Hey, speaking of, hold on. Let me look at the planning document. Make sure I'm not gonna. It's not on here. All right. What do y'all think that kid was thinking when he heard like his Happy Meal hit the fucking pavement?
You mean his Happy Meal hit the pavement?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
How did you see that video? You're not on the internet. What is happening?
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Everything is up on YouTube.
I think that kid was like, "I'm fucking hungry. Can I?"
Jamal, you know what you're talking about?
I feel like I've been hearing people talk about something about like the kids were doing something.
But you ain't seen it.
I ain't seen it, no.
All right. All we do in a critically unfocused podcast goes to YouTube moment.
And I will say, whenever we're ready to squeeze in and our guest is home with normal people Wi-Fi, we don't got to do it right this second, but they're ready.
Okay. Oh my God. This is the most hating.
It's so crazy how on fire this had the internet all week. I think this shit dropped on like Monday morning, and I've seen it every single day since then. I've seen this almost as much as I've seen the lady getting trampled and then fucked up again by the elephant. That still got the internet on fire though, and I don't think we talked about that on here, which is
dropped is fucking crazy when you're talking about this. Like dropped is fucking crazy.
Well, somebody ended up like doubling back and saying this shit was a skit, which I don't know if I believe, and I don't want to believe, quite frankly.
The mom doubled back down. She put up an IG live of herself, did not switch up. Yeah.
Daddy come here with one meal for my child, but I
don't even feel right playing. So I feel like this makes us look bad, but at the same time, this is ridiculous.
He only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's, but what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there you go. And I bet you he only got one thing in there.
This nigga pulled up in a shitty 05 Monte Carlo. Like, come on, lady.
Them shits was straight. You get the not Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt.
My dad had that, and that's what I drove to prom. I ain't hating. It's just 2020.
Yeah. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. Because that don't.
He had that good orange high C.
He got the big joint.
That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger, one fry. What do you mean? Okay, what about my other kids? What about your other kids? Okay, but them your kids' siblings though. Them my kids, them your kids' siblings though. So my other kids finna be left out. You know I don't get my food stamps to the seven.
You know I don't get my food stamps. We are hungry here.
Hey yo.
How are you helping yourself?
This man, dad of the year right here, bro.
He hasn't told a lie yet.
Lisa, you had them kids.
He just finna eat in front of all his other siblings and they're not eating on McDonald's. No. Why do I gotta
Nigga said put them in your room.
No.
He said bring them out here.
You can't bring enough.
Hey, leave the car with me. It's all good.
Yes. You sound dumb. How is that dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. Your responsibility.
He got her to fuck together.
He did make a
law. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's? You know I get food stamps on the 11th.
She said the 7th earlier.
Yeah. They're siblings. You knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, I didn't. That's my favorite part.
What are you talking about?
She's making herself look bad. That's the thing. Everything don't need to be recorded, bro.
Hell no. She thought she had one right here.
Because I'm exposing. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I like he came with this wetsuit fit though.
Piece of food.
To his crazy ass baby mom.
That's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all. Then he can't take that. He can't eat it.
Maybe if you had one or two, I could maybe. 4 or 3 extra kids. What the? All like going to my motherfucking account, spending money on all those kids. They're not my
3
kids.
extra
Them are
kids
your
is a
kids'
lot.
siblings, though.
Hella kids, bro. It's a daycare.
Those are your kids' siblings.
You could have busted out 20 feet, so like for real.
No, I didn't tell you to take care of them. You can
No,
bring
she wants this
something
nigga to be
eat.
the
You bring
team
one of
dad.
them to eat.
I bring them food every
Team
other day.
dad is crazy.
Exactly, but you don't never bring food for the other ones. You know I get my food stamps on the 11th. Okay, but I'm
You down
saying
bad.
we share the same kids.
Nah,
as
she in a
well.
bad spot right here. I got man, come on. Oh, we almost there.
I'm not taking my kid in the room.
This man showed the most restraint I ever seen.
That's facts. I would have just barged my way in. I definitely wouldn't have handed her the food.
Fuck no. Oh wow.
I'm thinking about my kid sitting hungry right here.
Yeah.
He's super calm.
Bringing up for all the other kids. You stupid. Like you're dumb
And
as hell.
I'm mad that
You're
you
dumb as
asked
hell.
what the
He not
baby was
finna
thinking
eat
because
that.
he probably is looking out the window like,
Damn, man.
you got me a large high C. Okay.
You get mad at your siblings, like, why the fuck y'all here, man?
Hey,
Here's
you
my
think she
take on
picked
this,
that
right?
bag up? Because the burger's probably
Hell
still in the
no.
bag.
She ain't
The
picking
burger's
that
still
shit
in the
up.
bag.
She ain't
No.
picking that shit
I
up.
think when he drove away, she definitely picked that shit
Nigga,
up.
did you see the floor? The burger was out the wrapper.
Oh, it fell out
Is the burger out?
Yeah.
You got burger on
You
concrete?
can see the yellow wrapping on the ground. Right when he's about to when she turns back around, you can see the yellow wrapping. Yeah, that burger is out, baby.
Damn.
Dog, so listen, I'll say she's fucking insane for this being an expectation and recording him and making herself like absolutely insane. McDonald's ain't that expensive. He could have brought a 20-piece. He could have brought a 20-piece. But that being said, he did say he brings food every other day. If I gotta bring food over every other day, that means you're down tremendous, and I can't be feeding it. I can't be feeding a family of 4 every other day.
No.
Like that is a lot.
Like, just off principle, like if that, I mean, I can't say for sure if that was me because I don't know for sure like what that's like, but I wouldn't be an issue for me to like buy McDonald's for 4 kids. It's not a lot of food. It's not a lot of money. You get that done for less than like probably $12. But
Yeah.
$12 for the
McDonald's
know,
app,
man.
they got all
Got
the
more.
buy one get one free deals on the app. He could have brought me first.
You can still, I mean, he talking about little ass kids. Like they don't need like 2 McDoubles. They need 1 McDouble.
Dog. So the shit I've been seeing, somebody had they took the burger and cut it into 4ths, and then took the fry and put like 5 fries on each of like the 4 little styrofoam plates and poured the juice in the thing. The kids probably would yell at you, but I mean it'd be better than throwing the food on the floor. She could, but also like, hey, look, okay, you know the nigga bring food every other day. Okay, I know he about to buy little Travion a meal. If I offer to give him like $6, which I know ain't enough to feed the other 3, maybe we can like work together.
I'm gonna chip in on a little supplement it.
Yeah, like, hey, while you're there, let me cash app you $5. Will you grab these 8 things? He'll probably be like, whatever, all right. But
it's not. Yeah, I'm annoyed you asked me, but you sent the money, so it's whatever. Like,
yeah,
I want to see Corey Holcomb watch this video. I want to see this.
It's next week. It's promise you. It's next week. I got you. I'm sending the clip.
You know it's gonna be at the top of the episode too. He's gonna open with that.
Yeah, because this was the 27th. So this is after they recorded, or he would have talked about it.
Oh shit! Nah, yeah, man. Nah, she ain't shit. She's down.
Hold
bad.
on.
What?
No, I think he did already. Actually, yeah, he did. They do on Wednesdays. They do Tuesday nights. So I think he did talk about this one. Matter of fact,
yeah, he would have been fresh too.
This is right after probably the buddy passes.
Yeah, no, we skipped that one.
Please don't talk about that one.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm not saying anything else.
All right. I'm gonna bring our guest in before you get us canceled. My God.
Okay.
All right. Joining us here tonight, we got my boy Grayson.
G-Stacks.
A-Crop, G-Stacks, whatever you want. ETCG. The booster of the boosters for the Pac-12. I don't even want to tell y'all some of the shit he be telling me about what he be doing for kids. I hate
Can I
this
be
nigga, bro.
B-Stacks?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my God,
absolutely.
throwing it way
Yeah.
back.
Starting today.
I'm in. Let's go.
We brought
We
brought Grayson on as as our Pac-12 insider to talk about what I would call like the Chernobyl of the West Coast football scene.
Nigga said Chernobyl.
Shit is melting down. What's good, Grayson?
What's good?
Great,
y'all. How you
man.
doing?
Glad to see you in 4K.
Long time listener. Love the Obama.
Oh yeah.
Obama.
This whole thing.
Because outside of ETC, my desk job is a desk job. I watch y'all on YouTube a lot, and I've never really noticed because I've never seen me next to y'all, but I feel way less black.
Cursing his white daddy right now.
Way less black, but I really appreciate the invite because you guys do a really good project.
Hey, man,
about this
good.
Pac-12
Happy to have you
shit,
here.
man.
Yeah, so we just wanted to bring you in, get your as a UW fan, as a huge college football fan, Pac-12 fan, what your take is on USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten, which is insane for a number of reasons, but we want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, a number of reasons, but it's 1000% a death note for the Pac-12. And it's actually, I think, for the people who don't pay as close attention to college football, or specifically like the ins and outs of like conferences and how they're aligned. It's a death note for the Pac-12. The Pac-12 was completely done, at least as a Power 5 conference. But beyond that, it's a genuine and really sad death note to the Pullmans and the Corvalises and even the Eugenes if it wasn't for billions of Nike dollars. And that's not a slight at the Ducks. You know how much I hate them, being a dog through and through. But it's just like money and revenue is everything. Recruiting breakdowns is everything. So the Big Ten in pulling USC and UCLA, and some people wonder why UCLA is included. UCLA is a really good brand, right? But as far as a cash cow in the Pac-12, they are 6th, which is surprising to some people. But USC and UCLA have a contract going back some 30-odd years where they don't want to lose each other. They're playing home and home. Whoever's at home, they both wear their beautiful colors. You know, it's always a beautiful game. And specifically taking both of those schools not only monopolizes the Los Angeles market, but it monopolizes Los Angeles and Southern California recruiting. UW, Oregon, Wazoo, Oregon State, the Arizonas, the Bay Area schools, which no one gives a shit about, are completely lost to SoCal recruiting outside of a random squad or a random player here and there that specifically wants that Stanford education, that UW education, wants the swag from Oregon. Other than that, it's like, why would I go to UW or Oregon if I could go play at Penn State, if I could go play at Ohio State? So they have monopolized the Los Angeles TV market, which is going to land a substantial, hundreds of millions of dollars deal for TV, and monopolizing that market. So UW's way in to this party is the fact that we have one of the biggest television markets in America. Seattle is the 12th biggest market in America and growing fast, with a projection of by 2028 being inside of the top 10 and passing places like Philadelphia and Cleveland.
As our rent prices will tell you, it is rising fast as fuck.
Facts. Yeah. So that is UW and Oregon's ply. Is for the first time ever, those two schools are on the phone together, working together, trying to appeal to the Big Ten.
So do you think there would be any? Because I imagine, kind of how you said, this is a death note for the smaller schools. If Oregon and UW were to bounce, right? Is that just the end for Wazoo and Oregon State, or are they trying to be little brother and go with? Or what do you think happens there?
They ain't getting.
No,
I don't think they're getting in for sure.
The Big Ten wants a rounded off number of West Coast schools, and everything I'm hearing from boosters and from my one person in admin is 4. So if they're gonna get schools in the West Coast, and they already have 2, there's only room for 2 more, unless there is a rebuttal by the SEC. And then that could feasibly add a Stanford, a Utah, something like that. But with Wazoo and Oregon State specifically, this is a hard. USC was the line, not UW and Oregon. They're already dead. They already don't have an opportunity because Wazoo just remade their stadium, $120 million renovation. That's going to be paid for by the taxpayers. There's no money anymore now that the Pac-12, the best they can do if they don't completely disband and our schools leave to a bunch of different conferences, which the intermediate schools like Cal and Stanford and Arizona State that some people want to see are talking to the ACC and stuff.
Oh boy.
That leaves the extremely small markets like Wazoo and Oregon State and maybe Colorado State, who has a little bit of history. Yeah, Colorado has a touch of history. They've got a natty.
Like
They've
Utah probably
Heisman
survived
winner,
this,
so
right?
they could
And go
feasibly
to middle country school or conference.
Yes, their fan base is big
Mountain
enough
West.
with Utah and BYU if those two wanted to work together on something there in Utah. But Oregon State and Wazoo are probably going to become the big dogs in the Mountain West.
So do you think there's a bigger play like nationally here? Like at this point, like the Big Ten is obviously looking to absorb people because at this point, like if this causes, which it sounds like it very much will, and it probably should, because it's going to cause the Pac-10 now to scramble, and UW and Oregon gone. Let's say they're gone. Obviously, the rest of that conference has to either dissolve or it's going to be the WAC or whatever. But like obviously, these other it's not going to be the Power Five anymore. So like, do you think there's a bigger play here with like maybe the SEC and Big Ten are just going to try to make two big conferences that play each other, or like the college football playoffs aren't NCAA regulated anymore? So do you think they're going to try to like get themselves away from the NCAA altogether potentially long term?
Yes, it sounds like the moment that Texas and Oklahoma signed on for the SEC, the dominoes were already moving. Everyone was surprised about this USC thing yesterday, except for upper campus at every single Pac-12 school. Everyone knew that SC, they didn't know it was going to pop yesterday like it did, but SC made it very clear that it was like, oh, yep, Texas and Oklahoma, this is what we're doing. We're still a blue blood, even though we're not performing
and
like it.
And they got Lincoln Riley, so they're going to be performing like it's sooner than later. And Chip Kelly's at UCLA,
oh,
right?
my gosh, they got the
they taking some big ass names.
Jordan Brand too.
Facts.
Yep.
They got Caleb Williams, the backup, extremely talented quarterback from Oklahoma, is going to be the starter now. They just got the Bolitnikov winner from Pitt. Poached his ass.
Yeah.
Wait, he went to Texas or USC?
Yes,
UCLA,
exactly.
you said, right? Or USC?
Yo, man.
USC.
Yeah. USC is not playing this year. Like dark horse for playoffs, not playing this year.
Yeah, I feel like you give Chip
that picked up 2 or 3 extremely good defensive recruits from like Northwestern, stole UW's best wide receiver in Terrell Bynum, and 2 or 3 other really, really good Pac-12 players, because once NIL hit and now there's transferring with no consequence, man, it's open market. UW did the same thing. We stole Pitt's best linebacker. He was what conference is that?
Pitt is not the Big East, ACC.
Yeah, ACC, I think. Stole the runner-up player of the year from Pitt, Cameron Bright. He's going to be our starting middle linebacker this year. So it's all about who's got more money and what booster can offer what kid what. Which low-key, as somebody who loves traditional college football, but I love this for these kids, give that kid a bag of $70,000.
If not more.
Yep. And bring your ass to UW and ball out.
So I know Blake had a couple questions, but I wanted to ask, like, what? Obviously, the focus is college football because college football is king. But like, when you leave a conference for a sport, I don't think it's like the basketball team stays in the Pac-12. Like the basketball team, the soccer team, the baseball teams are coming with you, right? What do you think this means for like USC soccer that's now going to be playing like Maryland? Man, they don't make no money. Like the football is what makes them their money. So like, what does it mean for those programs?
It's bad. It's really bad, specifically because of logistics. when you're trying to pick up freight for collegiate athletics and go, oh, okay, UW softball, who is one of our 4 moneymakers, but when they make money, I'm talking about a top 10 softball program, period. That has an incredible following because our head coach is the Coach Krzyzewski of college softball. Heather Tarr coaches Team America, you know? So I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm ADHDing a bit. That is a long-winded way of saying the logistics that go into 80% of college athletics, which are not moneymakers. In 80% of college athletics, the money is made by the college football program, and there's a small, finite 25 to 30 basketball programs that actually do not operate in a deficit. When you realign to a point where you can't have your girls soccer team or your boys soccer team or your cross country team take a bus here and there, and you're talking about, instead of a 13-hour drive down to Southern California, we're talking about 2 buses taking 41 hours to get from SoCal to Chicago to play Northwestern. Like, it is a logistic nightmare, and you will probably see a bunch of Pac-12 schools or former Pac-12 schools, Oregon, UW, USC, and UCLA, cut half of their programs. Literally cut them out, or make them like club.
Yeah, UW's like big in rowing too. Like that's, I mean, that you talk about logistics, like moving boats. Like, come on, like.
Yeah. and I even think about like
the one thing with that.
Well, I'm just thinking of like college football players. It's like college football and basketball. We know, okay, the players get leeway on like during the season. We ain't really worried about your grades. You can do this. We'll make concessions for you. And I know, and I've heard that if you're on the rowing team, your fucking professor doesn't care that you're on the rowing team. It's like, okay, yeah, you were in Oregon this week, like, but you need to get your finals done. And if now the dude on the rowing team is like, yeah, we had to go row against fucking Rutgers. Yeah, like you're in. I was in New York over the weekend rowing, and they're gonna be like, okay, but did you do the thesis paper that you needed to do? like that's gonna fuck. I feel like college football is so much easier because the money's there. So we're just like, yeah, it's inconvenient that they have to do
the whole campus is in tune with the college football schedule versus the rowing schedule. Nobody gives a fuck. Like,
people might not know.
Unfortunately, Blake, for the University of Washington, very specifically, I think you may have the one instance in where UW has a billionaire booster specifically that gives UW rowing, because UW rowing on their own accord is like Olympic level, and they go and row against Oxford 2 times a year.
So they might be okay then. They might be okay. This might not affect them too much.
I don't care that you was in Seattle, dog.
Facts. But that billionaire booster might start putting all that focus towards the UW football program. So who knows what's going to happen to some of those storied programs? Arizona softball team, maybe the softball team of all softball teams. They'll probably go away. Oregon State men's baseball team, top 5 program of all time. Who knows what's going to happen?
It sounds like, because I'm trying to, like, to your point of like the smaller cities, Corvallis can't be making money. Even their football team probably isn't making money. They're probably living off of like USC makes so much money that our trickle down is enough to keep it going. How does Corvallis keep having sports unless they go like D2?
They're in the middle of a renovation too.
Even that team, it's crazy. As crazy as it might sound, I think Oregon State football operates at a $1 or $2 million in the black.
That's tight.
But but. Exactly, $1 to $2 million, while they are sharing revenue from a TV deal of the Pac-12. If and when the Pac-12 adds San Jose State and Fresno State, or it goes away and all of those big-time programs are like, we're not fucking going to the Mountain West. We're going to go join the Big 12, who already is a glorified Mountain West. After losing Texas, what do they got? Oklahoma State and nobody? Baylor maybe? Who's too busy abusing women?
Baylor won't get any of the love to go join another conference because they just fuck up so regularly. Nobody wants to touch them.
Yeah,
Too many recruiting violations. It's one thing when it's built in at like Miami, who's got the clout to do so.
Mhm.
Baylor, you ain't Miami. You be messing up as much as Miami, but you don't got the name behind it. It's wild. It's really wild. That being said, just some like inside info on this process. USC and UCLA are officially, as of 2024, going to be in the Big Ten. The night that or the day that happened, that same night, Oregon and UW were on the phone together, formally submitting their applications to the Big Ten. The Big Ten is waiting to give UW and Oregon an answer pending Notre Dame's answer because Notre Dame has because Notre Dame has the single biggest TV deal
I think
in
I
America
knew that somehow.
of
I
any
feel like I've heard this. I feel like I've heard that talked about.
They're the only ones on NBC. Getting the
That would
biggest
be
NBC
insane if they got
Yep.
Notre Dame to actually sign to a conference.
Yep. So it's sounding like what it could feasibly be. What the talking heads are saying and what my source said is that the Big Ten could round out with USC, UCLA, UW, Oregon, Notre Dame, and call that a Western Conference. I believe adding in schools like
like
who would
Iowa,
we have in the West
like
of the Big Ten?
spots like that are further. Is Minnesota still in the Big Ten?
Yes.
Yeah, schools like that probably.
Yes.
Nebraska.
Iowa State, Minnesota, Nebraska.
Yep, Minnesota, which is good because there's some built-in shit there, you know, like UW Michigan. As much as this sounds like it's me with purple shaded glasses on, is a rivalry. You know, they've played like 6 Rose
He told
Bowls
me it was a
against each
rivalry.
other.
We went to that game together. Michigan looked like they was rivaling.
You talked about shit that like went away, like with the Pac-12 dissolving too, like the Rose Bowl. I mean, it already kind of died when they started the playoff, but like now it's really gone.
Yep.
Like,
Nebraska plays there 4 times a decade. Like it's not a trip anymore. We don't care.
Yeah.
But okay, from a tradition standpoint, the Rose Bowl is gone, but I think that there's ways to now revamp it because half of who you just poached from the Pac-12 is a part of the traditional rivalry. So it would just be the Big Ten and the new Big Ten, the Big Pac, the Big 20, the Big whatever the fuck it would be called, against whoever they invite now. Make it the SEC, and then the Rose Bowl, the winner of the of the Big and the winner of the SEC outside of the national championship is the biggest game of the year.
This could be complete.
So there's ways for them to.
This could be completely off base.
The Pac-12 probably going to be assholes about it and not want anyone to even.
I almost feel like this ends like this could be decades from now. So no next year shit or whatever. I feel like this ends with like the SEC absorbing all the good Eastern, like they get or East, Southern, Southeastern. They get Florida State, they get Clemson, all those good schools that already aren't in the SEC. The Big 12, the Big 12 then goes and gets every good Western, Midwestern team, and then it's like we're making our own league. It's East versus West, and we like figure, and the college playoff expands, and it's East versus West. Everybody else is like a Division II NCAA school and doesn't have anything to do. Like we might not see UW play
from the Midwest to the West
like
Coast
at some point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Does that maintain with this new college football? Because the Apple Cup still happens.
I think it happens because we have like Alabama plays like Nicholls State every year because they're right down the street.
That's different though. Like those are games that you get to like boost your record, right? At the start of the year, every single year. It's like it's a warm up game.
Wait, but hold up. What about Clemson, South Carolina?
Okay.
I think
that's true.
Still happen because in this theory that I'm having, it essentially becomes those two powerhouses are their own thing. Who then go like, oh, we'll play the little D2 like Washington State school every year because we're recruiting on a different level. Our competition is on a different level.
D1 double A.
Because then every East versus West game, every game is great. Every game is UW versus Ohio State versus Cal. You know, like every game ends up being good if you like make it that way. I guess every game's hard. I don't know if that's good for people, but
if Easter got that phone call like, "Hey man, we need y'all to come to the Pac-12, bro. We just lost UW in Oregon. It's time. It's time."
Well, we did have Cooper Kupp at one time.
No,
so I think
Can Central go D1 double A?
But
Can my school come up?
No.
I don't know.
Probably.
Oh no, not that face.
Very likely. The odds are low.
I mean, I mean, they're better than Oregon
No.
State.
That's crazy. Yeah, like the big Pac-12 matchups are like this week. We've got the conference championship of Portland State versus Eastern Washington. Like, holy shit! Wow,
It's crazy.
The recruiting thing is one I'm going to be really interested in because, like, obviously schools like Ohio State, they can go get whoever they want wherever because it doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
State. Like, when now Nebraska comes in, like, hey, you going to come to Nebraska because we'll still be in LA twice a year. Like, your family can still come see you. You can still go to the crib. Yeah, but come play for us. Like, does Nebraska now get a better shot? Does, like, Penn State get a better shot getting LA kids? Because the LA market, for the most part, has been USC and then anybody who's big enough to not matter where you play. Alabama can get LA kids. Ohio State can get LA kids. Clemson can get LA kids. But basically anybody else, UW obviously because you're right there, but anybody else, you ain't really making no traction unless it's like the tiers below that aren't the big name guys. So that'll be really interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, and it's astronomical when it comes to recruiting because outside of, like, no matter what anybody wants to say about any other specific state, outside of Florida and Texas, Southern California is
100%.
the hotbed of recruiting
100%.
in America. As far as the number of star or 4- and 5-star blue chip
you can honestly
athletes
make
that
a
they
case
put
that
out every
when
year.
you talk about
It's not
all sports,
close.
Southern California might be the best because they produce basketball, hockey, not hockey. I don't know why I said hockey. Soccer,
They probably do. They probably do got hockey players.
They probably do got hockey players. Volleyball. Like, if you want a good athlete in something, go look in LA or San Diego.
It's just sheer population numbers, man. You're gonna find something. They got everything.
Yep.
It's been a bullshit argument that others don't like to hear because they don't give a fuck about those sports. But when it comes to sports in general, UCLA and USC really are the two greatest schools of all time.
Damn.
The reason why the Pac-12 has been able to call themselves the conference
UCLA got 100
champions
championships
is because not UCLA and USC of the Pac-12's 528 championships have 320 of them by the time.
Yeah.
They have more than half of the championships in the
UCLA
conference of champions.
On NCAA football games, UCLA was a school I love to play with, and they would always say, like, oh, the school with 100 championships because they just win at everything. And it makes sense. Like, honestly, the weather is such a good component. Like, we can play every sport all year, regardless. So you just get great.
Super strong baseball program, too.
Their bad days are 68 and sunny with a bit of wind.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy to see capitalism being the driver of everything at this point. Like, I hate capitalism as a person who's had to kind of be oppressed by it, but and I love football, so it's like, damn, capitalism sucks, but it's probably going to give me some great college. It's probably going to revitalize college football over the next decade because all the good schools are going to go play with each other because that's where the money's at.
That's hella crazy. You hate capitalism. You a Lakers fan. Those two things don't even add up at all.
I am a broke Lakers fan. If I was rich, I'd probably fucking love capitalism and the Lakers. But guess what? I can only love one.
All right.
I've only got enough money to love one.
Am I seeing Blake's name?
I told you I asked. Can I join?
I thought you literally said
man.
mine.
I said, can I join the team?
Oh my. You're wild.
All right, I got a question.
Oh my god.
So
what's up?
Big fan of EA's like NCAA 2014 football game, like just their college football series in general, right? I've been paying close attention to what's going on with the next ones coming out next year. One of the big problems they've been having is like the player likeness part, right? Because there's no college football players union. They can't just do like negotiate with union to do player likenesses. They have to go to each player individually to do it. Do you think like super conferences like we're seeing, is that going to make it like easier to get these things done? Like, is it possible like a players union could happen within like these super conferences themselves? It's like a mini NFL, you know? So it's like, could it be easier to get those big deals done?
Sure. When the super conferences are official, you know, because both is Texas, Oklahoma to SEC, is that also
2025? I think 2025.
Yeah, they were saying that the USC and UCLA are going to be gone before Texas.
2025.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So I'm saying it's going to be a slow roll, and with entities dying like the NCAA is undoubtedly dying, they're going to be pussies about it. Sorry, are we allowed to?
What? Uh-oh.
Did he just cut out?
Yep.
I can't hear him.
I can see
Even
him
his
still.
Wi-Fi is bad. That's crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like.
Oh yeah, we can
yeah,
still hear you.
there you go. Sorry about
Yeah,
to edit this
headphones,
one.
Grayson?
Fuck that.
Are we good?
This shit's jumping.
Yeah, I don't hear nothing but static.
Mm-mm.
Yo, how y'all sound?
You sound fine.
Yeah, what are you asking about you?
Gracious just.
Is it
Yeah,
me
it's yours.
I
sounding
think
crazy?
it is.
You're back.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hold on.
You sound like
I've
someone
been able
tap
to fix
dancing on
it.
your microphone.
I've
That's
been able to
exactly
fix
what
it
it
every
sounds
time
like.
it starts cutting up.
Yeah, man,
Grayson,
he
do
was
you have
spitting.
headphones?
I don't
No?
think. Can he hear you? I don't think he can hear you.
He
I
must
don't
not.
No,
think
he
you
has to.
either.
You can hear it the whole time.
Damn.
Tried to do a bunch of shit.
No,
Did it fix it?
That shit was
sounds
sped
old.
up. What was that?
If you have headphones, put them on.
Oh, the
sound like
booster's
a-
attacking his Wi-Fi. You done said too much.
I was about to say he said once literally as soon as he said the NCAA is that it was like actually no, you're done.
That man says we had our first sources on the podcast.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, when Grayson first started doing what I can't say that he does, I was like, okay, like he got a nice little following. Okay, you're probably nice. We went
And
to
I
that
almost
Michigan.
fucked up and said what the fuck was going on too. And I was like, let me stop.
I asked him ahead of time, could we mention it? He's like, you can say it, but don't harp on it. You can just say it and move on. When we went to that fucking Michigan game, I was like, oh, this nigga for real. This is crazy. All right,
He out here.
he's back. Let's see how it sounds. Let's see if it sounds like you're dying.
What's good?
Okay, you sound great.
Yeah.
You sound great.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I'm sorry. We had a good run going. I'm not sure.
You mean to rerun it back at you? You still got it in your head.
One more time with the question.
Okay. So with what's going on with super conferences, right? Like, is that going to make it easier for
NCAA. For
The
Yeah, can we
union,
like? You think
player
it's
union.
probably like a players union? Is that like a possible thing? Because right now that's what they're dealing with, like trying to get player likenesses down, because they have to negotiate with each individual player at the moment. Whereas like if they do like a Madden, they just go to the NFL players union, or like a 2K, it's the NBA players union, right? So it's like college that never existed.
Yeah.
Do you think that might be something we see with the super conferences with NIL and all that, or?
Word is with NIL and with the slow but inevitable death of the NCAA that upon signing with a university, that is going to be a stipulation on said signing. So not just I'm signing on to be a student athlete here for this duration and for this amount of scholarship money, but also my name, image, likeness is going to be in association with whoever associates with my university. So this entity is now going to go to universities about name, image, likeness for the individual, and the individual is going to essentially have to sign a contract with the school.
Okay.
Yeah, so they won't have to go to
as a
each
player of the
kid.
game. I
They'll
like
have
that.
to go to each university, and the kids will have an understanding. Yeah, after this, you will get so and so much money for whatever video game you're in, which won't be a big amount of money, but at least they'll be compensated for their name. And finally, instead of running back number 5, it'll be Reggie Bush. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
Exactly.
It's ideal. Like that's the best part of this. If we're gonna be a part of capitalism, I want the people who are doing the labor to win. Like if you putting in labor, you deserve to get paid on all fronts.
Did you guys hear about the biggest NIL deal ever signed 3 days ago?
Miami?
Yep, exactly. Jaden Rashada.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 9 million or something crazy.
Yep. UW came in third for him, offering $120,000.
God damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Getting $9 million to go to college is incredible.
Yeah,
to go to Miami. To go to Miami.
Oh,
to go to Miami.
Somebody.
Like, I really hope there is some sort of stipulation where like somebody got to talk to that boy and don't just give him $9 million check up front. That's incredible.
Fuck that. Take that money, black man, and see what happens.
Somebody put up a fucking little, not a GIF, a fucking one of the little images on Twitter with the kid's picture on it, and it said Jaden Rashada is going to be making more money this year than Saquon Barkley, than so and so, than so and so. than Alvin Kamara. It was like, dog, like that shit.
Yeah, last year they were doing that with like this receiver is making more than Justin Jefferson this year.
Yep.
But like it's funny because all of us growing up being huge college football fans, you think of guys like Marcus Lattimore, where it was like, hey, this motherfucker's like the coldest person I ever seen.
He was
and
so
then you
good.
see his leg snap in half, and it's like, oh, there goes his life, and he made no money for that.
That's
like,
true.
It would have been fucking sick if Marcus Lattimore got paid $5 million, and then he you know, he had a decent NFL career, but like Todd Gurley never got to see his first big paycheck.
Yep.
Yeah, he played for like 5 or 6 years. Marcus Lattimore.
I don't think he played that long, but I know
he's a strength coach at SC right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he was coaching in South Carolina.
I'd have to look, and I don't care that much. But like, he didn't get the money that he should have gotten for being how good he was. And like guys like Todd Gurley, Todd Gurley going to Georgia was one of the best college running backs we ever seen. And before he got his first big NFL deal, his knees were no longer functioning.
Yep.
Like
I'm trying to see also, because as someone who grew up, and I know this resonates with Tyrell, and I think Shakur too, knowing you were a Jags fan as we were like, you know, middle school and high school kids, the guys like LaDainian Tomlinson and Taylor and Priest Holmes growing up when running backs were bell cows and people actually gave a shit, and now you can't get a running back making over $10 million a year. That is not the case in college football. You still want a bell cow. So I'm down for some of these running backs getting the money that they're not getting in the NFL.
Hey, man, that's a good point.
Coming up as blue chips, because you know, everybody needs a Myles Gaskin. Everybody needs a Reggie Bush. You need a back that's going to come in and be a 4-year superstar for you in college, because running the ball in college is really how you win, that and defense. So, I mean, God damn it, that kind of sounds crazy given the fact that Alabama's running 3 and 4 wide receiver sets now. Football is changing, but there's still no like substitute for a great running back in college. I feel that way.
No, there's not.
A fucking receiver.
As a person who watched their team lose a whole lot of games because we couldn't run the fucking ball last year, I'll tell you, having a bell cow running back is helpful.
Yeah,
it's helpful for real.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
this is
the Jonathan Taylors of college football are going to be making millions of dollars now.
It's just so crazy to see like the dominoes fall in real time, and they get again how much different it is from like this ain't your granddad's college football. Like it's so much different than like our college football experience less than 10 years ago is so much different than what it is today. And I'm so interested. Oh, Grayson, I did want to ask you, have you heard from any kids who are in the recruiting process currently in the Pac-12 or people who are in recruiting positions saying that this is like affecting their like decisions, or like are they waiting to see how the rest of this shit shakes out?
NIL or realignment?
The realignment stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Which is crazy because specifically UW just had one of the craziest recruiting weekends they've ever had, with 8 commits in 4 days. And 3 of which were blue chip players coming from a Kalen DeBoer and going 4-8. Like that was really ridiculous for us to be able to pull something off like that. That being said, 1 kid was local. And my connections straight to these players are either the blue chip guys that I go out of my way to contact or the local kids. And definitely the Josiah Wagners, the Caleb Presleys, are waiting. The Jaden Waynes. I'm not sure if you guys know who these people are, but Josiah Wagner is actually Umi's nephew.
I think I've heard that one.
And he is the
Devontae coaches him with Air, so he's been talking to us about him the past couple weeks.
He's the 17th ranked cornerback in the whole country, and he just eliminated UW, which is rough because both his mom and Umi wanted him local. And in recruiting, a lot of the time, parents have a ton to do with the pull. Individuals like him, who is a blue chip recruit. There's a cornerback at Rainier Beach named Caleb Presley. He is the 6th best corner in all of America. Washington's really coming up when it comes to football. And the number 3 defensive end in America goes to Lincoln. His name is Jaden Wayne. And he's the number 30 overall player in all of America.
Lincoln's been having fucking talent.
Someone just went from Lincoln to IMG, didn't they?
That's him, Jaden Wayne.
That's him? Okay, that's him? Okay.
Yep, his senior year, he'll be playing at IMG. And then the quarterback at Lincoln, Jabari Johnson, is a 4-star quarterback, and he just committed to Mizzou last month over UW.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I know that I was asked a question, but the ADHD has taken me because I think it's a good opportunity to talk on it. The state of Washington is slowly creeping into the top 12 as far as talent in football. It's insanity.
I feel like it translates because it's been that for basketball for our entire lives. So you take those same athletes, and a lot of those guys are having kids and all this other shit, and the money's there now. Like, our state is making more money.
The I-5 corridor, and specifically with Devontae, Air, and FSP, Ford Sports Performance, are 2 AAU football programs that take these kids to Alabama, to Florida, to South Carolina, to Miami, to Penn State, and all of these different camps, and really let them show who they are. And these kids are coming out every single year. We've got a 5-star and 5 to 7 4-stars for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Like, the state of Washington puts out fucking dogs. Yeah.
Which I feel
the
like
number one player
even that talent's probably always been there, but these resources weren't. Like,
Vontae was telling us about that when he was on here a couple weeks ago.
What star ranking would someone like Jordan Russell have had 10 years
ago?
Last week? Where it's like,
exactly.
He's just playing
Jordan
here and not being seen nowhere else. Yeah.
Scott Crichton?
It's like, hey, yeah, Scott.
You talked about it last week. I said the last week, like Scott got to Oregon State, but like if the same like tools and things were in place when he was doing what he was doing,
Scott became a 3-star off of a weekend in Corvallis. Can you imagine if he was with FSB? Dude would have been a 5-star. I swear on my mom, he would have been a top 50 player in the country.
You're probably right. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The Allen Browns, who went unrecruited outside of 3 schools, I don't think that Allen was an illustrious athlete, but he was damn good, and he was always
definitely
in the right spot. And him and the Jamal Birds and stuff with their build and their performance on the field, those would have been at least 3-star guys getting Pac-12 offers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that class that we had that had 5 people get recruited, and it was like a bunch of little schools.
Exactly.
Those guys got that off of going nowhere.
Yep. Julian
Jamal got a scholarship off of going literally nowhere. Eastern Oregon was like, please come play for us. He didn't go anywhere.
You telling me Tacoma Baptist is not an elite camp?
No.
Absolutely. Practicing off of 56 and Tyler will get you to the moon, baby.
Camps are so trash. So that's where all the real niggas is at. I went to 2.
And those camps are so fucking like so basic. All right, look, we're gonna do Oklahoma drill. We wasn't really playing.
We're gonna do
I went to some camp in like Vancouver, or it might have been in like Portland. I can't remember. I went to some camp out there.
What's the name of it?
I never told anybody this. Nigga, I was getting third of my reps, bro. The one-on-one. I'm telling you, niggas from Cali there.
That's nuts.
Man, niggas, but this was going. So these like 17-year-old niggas with hella tattoos up. Like, they niggas got all them tattoos.
17-year-old niggas with hella tattoos.
Them niggas was eating, bro. I'm telling you, some of the best niggas I've seen in my life. Bro.
That's where you start getting humble. You start like, maybe I'm not cut out for the league. This niggas was fucking me up, and I don't know their name.
I swear to God, AJ Green.
Oh no!
Julio Jones was there. Dog, I'm telling you,
you got coached by a nigga that works at Bucky's Breaks right now.
Dog,
hey yo, man, those
in Tallahassee though, so
those
it's legit.
camps will be humbling, bro. When it's like, oh yeah, I'm a baller where I come from, and like I'm a number 1 receiver, and then you face a corner from workout.
This shit is crazy,
man.
Like, remember that little sports magazine we used to take out of the library? And we will see like
Rise was a Rise?
The Rise magazine. Yep. Like, oh man, Darren McFadden as a junior just rushed for 38,000 yards. Like bullshit like that.
Damn, I had 380.
Shit.
Yeah, I'll say my humbling camp experience. I was balling out one year at the Oregon State camp, and the coach was like, "Man, you were 8 inches taller. We offer you a scholarship." I'm like, how can I figure that out this summer? Is it weird to grow for my knees, nigga? What are you talking about? I think he said if you were like 6'3" or some shit like that. Like, nigga, I'm 5'10" and my dad is 5'7". I'm never seeing this field.
Why?
My experience at Oregon State camp, they asked me to play left tackle and then a defensive end in the same camp, and I'd never done either of those. And like, I didn't understand what the fuck contain was.
Blake, do you remember Coach Mike Riley at Oregon State when we were?
Maybe not. I don't think so.
He was the head coach that initially took over in that year that Oregon State had a white
I know who
wide
he is. I don't remember seeing him.
a white wide receiver that like finished and I think maybe won the Biletnikoff.
Okay.
No, you're thinking of the white dude from Oregon. No, you're thinking of the white dude from Oregon.
Oh, I swear that it was
Mike Riley had the Rogers brothers.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Rogers brothers.
Jacquizz Rogers.
Yeah, they were
the white dude from Oregon wore like number 23 or some shit like that.
Yeah. So we're at Oregon State football camp. Me and Tyrell's junior year going into senior year, and we're doing drills, and like every day it's like you camp in the beginning of the day, and then you have like scrimmages in the evening.
Yep.
End up going against the kids who are invited by Oregon State, not the schools, but the kids.
No.
It's Oregon State
Renegades.
Black,
The Renegade
Oregon State
Squad.
Black, and Oregon State.
They be the niggas, bro.
And they were so
He was
good.
a
And
real deal.
there was Brandon Cooks playing corner and receiver. He was recruited as an athlete, and Kipa Ofohea, who was being recruited as a strong safety. Fucking on 2 successive routes, just 7'd them with Jake Nelson at quarterback, hit him with a post corner, got them both, caught the ball, solid grab on the Hawaiian kid, the second one. Mike Riley tells me, hey, man, you're too short, but we could have you play special teams as a junior or senior. I'm huffing and puffing because I can't breathe. I found out I had sports-induced asthma in Corvallis, and it was just a pipe dream from there. But that's my
our offense came back to meet back
sports.
So that's when the linemen do one-on-one. Our offense came back like, yo, there's this kid named Brandon Cooks, and he's like a 4-star, and Grayson just routed him. He's probably going to go D1.
Really?
Didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Oh, my God.
They
wasn't even supposed to be a corner. They just wanted him at corner because he was so small and he was a great athlete.
Clearly, the top first-round draft pick that's been traded for 5,000 first-round draft picks at wide receiver.
Brandon Cooks can't stick with
where he go, though.
I don't like hearing about college or high school football, but I'll let you tell that story for the rest of your life. You fucked up a nigga that made it to the league.
Facts.
There you go.
And who was nice in the league. Somebody who I'm like, hey, maybe I can get
still nice.
Like the 5th round in my fantasy draft this
year. He goes.
You cooked him, so you goated in my book.
Dog, Kenny Lees, one of our baseball teammates who came out to the camp just because we were low on numbers, scored a touchdown to win a 7-on-7 game on Brandon Cooks, and he will never let anyone not know that. Shit was crazy.
Nope.
That was y'all going into y'all senior year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, remember the year before a nigga tried to come to Oregon State campus? I was like, nah, you graduated, nigga, get out of here.
When Tiari tried to get on the bus, they're like, you don't know.
No, they did. Oh, because never mind. I was going to say.
He tried to
going into my senior year, he came with us. But
going into Jamal's senior year, he tried to go too.
Yeah.
It's like, dog, you're done. There's no more.
That camp was fun, though. So
you're their age. That camp was fun.
Like, bro, you're 20.
You're 20.
Hey, they were fucking shit up, though.
Wild.
That nigga was trying to go up there and be God. That's hilarious. Now, I'll never forget that, because that nigga looked so hurt. I was like, damn, bro. Sucks to suck.
I
didn't know that. That's fucked up.
We laughed so hard at that.
There's some more examples, dog.
Nigga, we laughed for like the first hour of that bus ride at that.
People who, if these recruiting tools were around back then, Tiari Bell and Nick Edwards both would have gone D1 for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, they probably should have still. I heard they just dumb as hell.
Well,
I know like grades and stuff.
Tiari didn't have good grades, but Nick Edwards was like an honor roll student.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Yeah,
dude was very.
He was supposed to go to UW, but Cavario Middleton took his scholarship. I remember him mentioning that before they played together in basketball.
Wow.
He said before the game, I'm about to fuck him up. He took my scholarship before Lake played Falls in a basketball game.
That's wild.
Damn.
Well, yeah.
Well, Grayson, we really appreciate you for joining. Great contributor. Can't wait to have you on once UW decides to go to the fucking Canadian Football League or some shit, it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't wait.
In beginning and in conclusion, the Pac-12 is literally dead. There's nowhere it can go from here, and UW and Oregon are not going to be the linchpins. So even if the application is turned down by the Big Ten, UW and
Y'all still out of there.
And Oregon will do some wild shit and like apply to the ACC.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
They are not.
Do you have any socials you want to plug where people can find you at before you get out of here?
Yeah, plug your shit. Pause.
Pause. That was crazy.
Shit.
Yeah, I said pause.
Twitter.
I'll say most people don't watch our videos.
Instagram also ETCG, and I don't know. Follow Critically Unfocused because it's a great pod. So for anybody listening,
holla at your boy. I'll see you tomorrow.
Certified.
Peace.
Later. Thank you.
Peace. Appreciate it.
Be good, man.
It's always fun.
Wow. I feel official right now. This is crazy.
Hopefully we get the Larry bump and we get like an extra 150 viewers.
I could say why I think we might not. But
I could
that would be...
we'll see. I'll try to talk some people into some things. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to our timeline. We can skip some of this stuff. You guys want to talk about the Draymond and Perk shit though? This past, or Draymond versus everybody?
Well,
yeah, man. I'll talk about it a little bit, man. Look, so
they squashed it, didn't they? Because I seen them put out like a response podcast or something like that.
Perk went and sat down on some other podcast. I didn't see what he said on there, but we could talk about what happened though. At least in the meantime, Draymond's been like waging this war against sort of like how sports media has been recently with just like
trash.
Okay, you go ahead and explain what's happening, Jamal.
No, I'm just saying it was trash. But no, like you were saying, like, yo, he's kind of he went on this podcast. This is the first one right after they won the championship, right? Where he's talking about old media versus new media.
It was the second one.
Okay, but then I know he called out
first one he alluded to it. Second one he stamped it.
Okay, yeah, that's when he called out Skip Bayless, Nick Wright. He was talking about Perk. Was there any other names he was kind of talking about on there? He's talking about
Stephen A.
Not
Stephen A. Not Stephen A.
No, yeah,
he sat down with.
How people just be up there, they don't analyze, they just want to talk about
attack the player, talk about the player,
takes and just shit like that. And there's no education in it, and like you guys can go up there and say like wild outrage, it shouldn't be totally wrong, and then it's like, oh, it's nothing. Like there's no like why do you feel this way and they can't explain it. It's just shit like that. And then so he called out some people, and then he had to Perk responded to him, calling him because he said
wait, what did he say to Perk? Oh yeah, what?
Oh yeah, he said he went from enforcer to coon, but he did, which is like if you don't got like no actual proof or like you can't pull up no instances of him like
God damn it
doing some coonery right then and there, then that was kind of wrong. Especially like try to like put that on another black man too. If you don't got like the facts like that, I get it. But he did say his basketball skills weren't up to par and said, he wasn't very good. And so he felt this wrath, but
I never liked the like I personally hate the like, and I think I was in the spaces that Kendrick Perkins and Richard Jefferson did after Draymond called Perk a coon, and Coon responded, or not Coon responded, Perk responded by saying like, yo, you got me fucked up. Like we can talk about whatever, but don't disrespect me. And they were kind of talking about how like, fuck, I don't remember where I was going. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense for him to call him that for no reason because he don't be up there cooning. And then Draymond explained
he knows him better than we do, so it might be some other reasons why he might.
Draymond also said like he says coon how me and you used to say it to each other, like almost a replacement for nigga. Like what up, coon? Like you're not saying like coon in the sense of
like that though.
I'm tap dancing for white people, which is how he said it the first time around. Well, that's how he said it. But yeah, Draymond's got a point as far as like even listening to the KD stuff today. Like people like, oh, you can't have a big three if you don't have a leader, and like KD's not the bus driver, and KD like he can't be the leader of a team because he don't got no integrity and like no back. It's like dog, like you doing a lot for like a basketball team. You basically saying like this man ain't a man because he breaking up a basketball team, or like
exactly, bro.
people taking shit. It just gets so far out of pocket. Or what I wanted to say was also the like people basing your skill off of what you're able to say. Like, oh, and me and you have had a great laugh about when Jalen Rose called Skip Bayless Water Pistol Pete Jr.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't talk about me playing basketball. You average 1.9 points a game, which was funny, but like, nigga, there's people who spend decades dedicating their life to like watching film, analyzing the game, watching basketball. And to say that they can't talk to you because they didn't make
that's
it to the
wrong.
NBA.
We both know that's wrong. Like you feel if you study and watch it and stuff, like you can give analysis on it. I think he was just going to Skip personally because I think he knows like when you like besides from like this the whole mid 2000 shit with like Skip just dick riding LeBron to fame, whatever.
Not mid 2000, nigga. That's today.
Still. But before that, like Skip was known as like he was writing on the Dallas Cowboys. During like their championship run when they was like America's team in the 90s and shit. So he knows like, yo, he's not really a basketball guy. He just be saying shit. He just wants to just dick ride LeBron, whatever. So that's probably why he was talking like, yo, you can't say anything about basketball because first off, like we know you're not a basketball guy, you're a football guy. Like that's all we know you for, and you're just super made your name off LeBron. And like you're trying to talk about my basketball skills, and then I found out how bad you were. Like, bro, it's easy, bro. Like, I get why he did this shit. But you know,
I feel like there's
you don't got to be the best at something to talk about it because I'm sure like a bunch of them.
You don't got to be good.
Yeah,
you don't
like,
got to be good.
Like just study and like take it serious, and you're trying to like you know what's going on. You can speak about it.
And honestly, if we keep it,
Sometimes you don't be
like,
want to hear that shit from a nigga.
For that aspect in itself, like let's say Nick Wright was like the best fucking high school point guard in Kansas City where he grew up. The nigga's 5'11". Like part of being like I couldn't play in the NBA if I wanted to because I'm not 6'7". Like I can't talk about the NBA because I wasn't blessed to be one of the like 150 tallest people on the planet. Like shit like that's dumb. But I feel like there's a space for both because I personally like we definitely me and you used to definitely like link up to sit down and like watch First Take when both of us were like fresh out of high school, didn't have jobs. Like, oh yeah, we gonna like play the game, we'll watch First Take, debate about the debates and shit like that. And I feel like there's still space for debates, and the debates do get to a place where it's like you're talking about everything but the game. Like, oh, was Steph Curry's third quarter or game 4 a historic game? Well, you know, Steph actually sucks and I hate him. It's like, well, that didn't have anything to do.
That shit's cool for a little, but then it gets old, man.
Yeah, so there's definitely I can see what Draymond meant by like the new media where they're analyzing the game more. That being said, Draymond just spent his last like 4 podcasts that weren't, or his last 3 podcasts from like the last game of the finals when they basically knew they were going to win to the one where he called Kendrick Perkins a coon, talking about everything but basketball. Because it's fucking hard to sit there and like, are you going to turn on the TV to sit down and like, oh, okay, what's the white dude Tim Legler who be doing like the X and O stuff?
Yeah,
he's only on SportsCenter for like 30 minutes because he sits down and does the X's and O's.
No, I'll tell you, his shift is from 2:40 a.m. to 2:53 a.m.
Dog, they put him on for the smallest amount of time because most people aren't sitting down to watch SportsCenter to be like, oh, that's why he scored that bucket because the pin down on the other side let him run off and he got
even still just like them kind of like commenting like the quick highlights and stuff back in the day. Like SportsCenter used to be like more about that. And it's like now it's just I don't want to hear niggas just argue like it's like they're making the shit like fucking Love and Hip Hop VH1 fucking sports.
Yeah.
Man.
It seems like there's a middle ground we need to get back to where we can definitely still do the debate stuff. We can talk about the like personality shit, but it's like if you watch Undisputed, you're gonna see this. You'll hear Skip and Shannon yell at each other while the same 4 clips of like the Cowboys game go while Skip tells Shannon that Tom Brady isn't good. Like, what does this have to do with the Cowboys Bucks game or with the Cowboys Chargers game that happened last night? Y'all arguing about is Tom Brady actually the GOAT or like, well, Dak threw a pick at the end of the game, so you know he's actually horrible.
It'd be the same arguments over and over, bro. And then like,
yeah.
But you know what you said? Like, where's the middle ground in that? I think the middle ground is like these smaller like internet shows, like YouTube shows, Spotify shows, like even small shows like us talking about it like that.
Catch me up,
I think Draymond thinks he's in that pocket of like, I'm a small YouTube guy who's going to sit here and like break down film and only talk about the game and not gossip. But like a lot of Draymond shit will be like a lot of basketball because he's obviously playing in the games and watching the games. But he also does the other stuff too.
Player. Yeah, he's just
but we were just kind of talking about like kind of like how Draymond's right, Perk was right. Both of them had some wrongs as well. But how there can be some middle ground for media because things have shifted so far to like you're either debate only, which means you're probably talking very little about the game, and how people will watch. The Cowboys played the Packers yesterday, and the game was 37-31. And instead of talking about the intricacies of the game and how it got to that point, we're actually going to talk about, does this mean that Aaron Rodgers is actually a top 5 quarterback of all time? Like the shit that just doesn't correlate and doesn't. It's what sells, obviously, because it's what's on TV. So they have to keep doing it because people aren't sitting down to like listen to like Move the Sticks talk about football. So it's like there's got to be a middle ground somewhere where we're getting both, and it just doesn't seem like. It seems like Draymond hates the fact that like the debate should exist at all, where there's clearly a lane for it, and wants everything to be like X's and O's. Where clearly people aren't looking for that because those aren't the people who are being on TV, put on TV.
I'm gonna just hop in right here without any context on what y'all have already said. I think the middle ground
probably
will
gonna
never
make it
exist.
better.
I think what's gonna exist is that what we have today, because it's based on what is working, what's getting responses, getting people to share shit on Facebook, retweet shit on Twitter, get active in the comments on YouTube. It's like that's what it's based on, right? So whatever gets that to keep moving, because that's where ad dollars is, that's what we're gonna keep, right? If you want the X's and O's, if you want more breakdowns, you have podcasts for that. You have other YouTube channels for that.
Yep.
But in no way are FS1 and ESPN beholden to giving us what is happening, explaining the intricacies of basketball to us. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yep.
Like that's not where we're at today.
And I think that's perfectly okay. I just feel like people, when Draymond's like old media versus new media, where I guess in the literal sense of it, it kind of is old versus new. But like the debate shit is new. Like SportsCenter wasn't always that. They would just talk about the like highlights of the game and move on. But it's just two different. Like it's media. It's all media, but it's different across the board.
It's not super new though, because like First Take been around since like 2014, 20.
Nah, before. No, like 20.
It was Cold Pizza before that. Skip just talked about this on his show because like Stephen A had said something about him. So like he talked about like when he brought him on and everything like that. I think it might have been like 2012, 2010 or something.
I think it was 2010 because I was about to say I was definitely still in high school when First Take was the thing.
So you're talking about like it's been like this for the past 12 years, and like the biggest personality we have in sports media, who's probably Stephen A. If it's not, it's Skip Bayless. Like those are the two. Both of them are debate media. That's what they do. Like they don't do analysis. They don't.
And at
do
this point, they just happen to be on
breakdowns.
the two biggest sports platforms. But yeah, to your point, like I can watch, and I don't even really watch the like debate stuff. It can be entertaining at times, and I want to see what they'll say about specific things. But like most of my sports consumption, because I choose to, because I care more about the intricacies and the X's and O's, I go to like The Athletic. I listen to their podcast about football and basketball. I like listen to everything, Move the Sticks, where it's like they're talking more about less of is KD actually not a man because he didn't do this thing. They're talking just about the basketball and stuff like that. And those things are out there. So I feel like it's just a waste of energy for Draymond to like keep harping on these. And it's also somewhat warranted because if someone's
also
going to work every day telling me that I'm like, you're not shit because you didn't score 40 last night.
It don't matter. Like this, like what I'm saying though is like, because I see the same complaint. Like it happens on like the NBA subreddit like all the time. They complain about ESPN's coverage of the NBA, and I'm like, dog, like y'all do not have to watch them or care about this shit. Like you don't have to go try to watch the ESPN NBA halftime show and complain that it's mostly ads. Like who the fuck cares? You're watching basketball. Like they want like the NBA and TNT guys to do everything, and it's like, dude, like. They're mostly ads too. It's like I don't know. Like it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
I can
like,
understand it because
if you want more shit, if you want deeper discussion about basketball, there's places to have that. You just can't don't talk about it as if like this is the only place you can have that content. Like it's not. There's more places today than there's ever been You don't have to listen to them for that. Like you can go anywhere you want to go.
I feel like the success of things like the Manning cast and like they do like the players night in the NBA where they have like players watch the game can be there's value in that because like
they don't like that. They look, these motherfuckers like that. They want Zach Lowe and Nate Duncan to talk about the game. That's it. Yeah. That's what they want. That's all these fucking nerds want. That's it. They don't. Yeah. If Jamal Crawford's talking about the game, it's like, oh my god, he's not really good at commentating. It's coded shit, bro. I'm telling you, just
it is definitely coded shit, and I guess that's what ESPN does. They're playing to a majority. Most people are gonna come here, turn the TV on. You might be at a bar where there's 47 people watching this game with the volume off. Like we don't care about like the quality of it, but yeah, if you're sitting down. I feel like there should be another avenue. If you're like, I'm going to sit down and watch this football game and I want to know more than just like what Chris Collinsworth is telling me, but like you're also expecting there to be teams of people having their own.
There is like there's thousands of live streams for every single primetime football game on YouTube. You can just go find them though.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's a good point.
I've never watched alongs. You're not going to get to watch the game on that person's stream.
You gotta have it
but that
on
person's watching the game as you're watching it, and you can see like they'll give you whatever the fuck is going on. Like,
and I'll say, I guess as someone who works with the public, people want everything spoon fed to them as easily as possible, essentially. Which obviously you know that based on reading these comments. I don't want to have my iPad up. And I'm not even saying me because there are times where I'll like have stuff up. Yeah, people want shit like, oh. I want the Zach Lowe podcast to be live recording while the Magic play the Heat on Thursday night, and I want to know every detail about every guy. That's
y'all
not
be
like
perpetually sad.
Yeah, 100%.
And I just wish that I couldn't see you be sad. I wish you could go complain to a place where I couldn't see it because you're annoying as hell.
But yeah, there's definitely two different lanes for sports media. I think where it is the mass consumption. Stephen A is going to be on TV for 3 hours. So every hour is one thing and it repeats the next hour unless there's breaking news. But there are motherfuckers who will sit there for 3 hours and watch that and be like, why the fuck didn't they talk about the Magic's comeback against the Rockets last night? We came back from down 20 because nobody gives a fuck about that. You got to go listen to your pod for that. You got to go listen to your YouTube guy for that. But people want to be like,
you're getting Lakers, Cowboys, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and
Mahomes.
Yep.
Mahomes. Maybe the Yankees, they do some hot shit. Maybe.
The Yankees are killing shit this year. I had a topic about this. The Yankees are killing shit this year, and if you watch regular sports shit, you would have no clue. I was digging into some John Boy shit the other day after he did a video on the brawl that the Angels and the Mariners had. So I just started going back and just watching his most recent videos. And he made a video about like I don't even remember the two teams that were playing, but a comeback that a team had where like they walked this guy and then they shifted here and then they did this. And it's like if I was just watching baseball or just seeing the highlights of the game, it's like, oh, like they ended up losing, but here's how they came back from down so much. I wouldn't have like if I'm just watching the highlights, I would never have known that. Watching like Yankee shit where it's like, oh, he walked this guy, this guy hit a home run, this guy did this. You're not getting that from watching ESPN because ESPN's like, hey, they hit 4 home runs and they won the game. Like you have to really go and like seek out the shit. And honestly, having a phone, it's in your hand. You can find it if you want to. But it's just funny to me how like baseball, the highlights were so like watching John Boy, I was like, damn, like there's so much shit in here that I wouldn't even have thought just watching SportsCenter or just watching a recap the next day, even if they did go a little in depth because there's so much like strategy shit you don't think about.
It'll be quick fish. They'll give you all that. ESPN used to like when they when I just didn't have so many live sports centers, but MLB quick fish on MLB Network. They'll give you all that for every single game.
Yeah, which I don't think MLB Network's included with the package I got. It might be
YouTube TV. It should be.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. Just turn it on in the morning. You will not be disappointed. Let me tell you, turn it on in the morning before you look. You will not be disappointed.
You have said that a few times. I don't care enough about baseball to go look, but I will.
You don't need to care about baseball. I promise you. You got eyes. You a man, ain't you?
Man, sports is just such an interesting such an interesting field because there's such like different niche pockets of every single sport. And I'm sure it's the same every part of the world where there's some soccer guy in Scotland who's like, why the fuck aren't they talking about my local team that did this crazy thing yesterday? They keep talking about Manchester. Da, da, da. I got it. Like, it's such a, like a polarizing form of media.
Well, yeah, I mean, even just talk about like if you want sports to be on an even playing field across the world, right? Like, there's a massive bidding war going on right now for players in the Premier League. We're talking about like people trying to pull people from Dortmund, and there's one other player too. It's Dortmund and one other club, but that's not really on our American sports shit here.
No.
But if you look at anything else, like it's everywhere.
The number one thing.
It is what it is, man. People are going to do what gets some responses. They're not trying to necessarily be equal in whatever the fuck else.
So I had this NFL either or thing. I think I'm going to push that to next week because it's definitely going to be some lengthy stuff. And I absolutely want to talk about what Jamal put on here at the end because I have some takes about it. But Blake, did you want to talk about the luxury tax thing that Draymond proposed?
Yeah. So Draymond was talking about that, like right now the Warriors are probably the highlight franchise for this, but they're basically being punished for drafting well and running the organization well, right? And the way they're being punished for that is like the luxury tax. It's becoming hard for them. Well, not hard, but like their owners are fine with resigning people and paying them, but like they're getting penalized for it, right? Through the luxury tax. Like right now, Kevon Looney is coming up. They got to pay him to bring him back. They're paying an exorbitant amount more than whatever his contract number is because of the luxury tax. And they're only paying that because they scouted him right and drafted well, and he turned out to be a good player, and his contract is at whatever amount that makes him go over the salary cap. So his suggestion was that like if you drafted the player, then you should be not exempt, but the luxury tax should not be the same on the player. Now I thought that was a good idea because like this, you're helping make one franchise players and just kind of and I think that helps out the small market teams too because they can't necessarily hit in free agency like that. They kind of got to rely on the draft a bit more. They're the ones reluctant to play luxury tax. So if you make it so like if their draft picks are ones that they are exemptive on, then like maybe DeAndre Ayton isn't like about to be on another team right now. Like, you know, like so.
Yeah. I feel like there's also like it makes the Supermax, which is like a thing that's available to every team, not hurt as much. Like teams that sign players to the Supermax are basically in a spot where it's like we really, really want to keep our guy. We know if we offer him anything less than the Supermax, he's going to leave. So we have to offer it to him, but like we're going to be punished for it on the back end. Minnesota's going to end up being punished for like re-signing Cat when they want to go ahead and re-sign Ant because of course you're going to fucking re-sign Ant, and you traded for Rudy Gobert. So you got 3 potential Supermax guys on your team to try to like put together the best possible team you can. You're going to be punished for it. So yeah, I think it should definitely have some stipulations because it's not a luxury to draft players. I feel like the luxury tax, when I think of it, luxury. Oh, if I go and get
for all them free agents.
If I'm the Warriors and I have all my drafted guys and I go and get Kevin Durant and want to pay him the Supermax as well, that's a luxury. We got to pay some extra taxes on that. It doesn't make sense for them to have to pay the luxury tax on Steph, Clay, and Draymond, who they drafted and kept there, kept happy, kept paid for a decade and some change.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
My big argument was in the NBA, right? Like because there is basically zero penalty for just not being competitive, not trying to win. You kind of people are worried that like this rule would like incentivize losing, but it's like right now in the NBA, if you feel like you don't have a chance to win the championship, teams tank as it is. I don't think it's gonna make it any worse, just because like the only reason that tanking is possible is because there's no penalty for just fucking punting games or punting a season. Like you're still making money. The small market teams get the revenue share from the luxury tax as it is. Like, but the contrast to that would be like the British Premier League, like where our soccer, where if you are in the bottom of the league, you get relegated. You get sent down to a lower league. So you're making less money the next year. So teams don't just punt seasons like that. They don't have a draft like the NBA or NFL does. So it's not apples to apples here, but it's just I don't think this necessarily makes the league less competitive because a draft pick you don't pay luxury tax on. Because even if that's the case, like you still got to wait like 5 years and hope that draft pick plays to a max level in order for this rule to even benefit you in the first place. Like,
yeah, I can't see how it would incentivize losing like in any way. I've also always been a fan of the relegation thing for every sport. Like it would be super dope if every sport like had a lower league where relegation became a thing. But yeah, like if you think about a team like Memphis who like is gonna max Ja, probably gonna max Ja, Jaren Jackson Jr. at some point. Like teams that don't make a lot of money in smaller markets that have players that they were fortunate enough to be bad enough at the right time to draft well, who performed up to those standards and want to pay them, Memphis is going to end up in the luxury tax at some point because they paid Desmond Bain, John Morant, and Jaren Jackson Jr. and they're going to get penalized for like drafting good players, and they don't make that money. Like they don't make enough money to be luxury tax team, which then incentivizes them to be bad because they're like, well, I don't want to pay the tax, so like we're going to ship Jaren Jackson Jr. to fucking Milwaukee. He's going to go play with Giannis, and like you're going to create another super team, and we're not going to pay the tax, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't. It's ridiculous to think that would make teams less competitive. Your teams are less competitive when they have to pay the luxury tax. Billionaires are for fucking cheap for some reason, which makes no sense to me.
No, I mean they're getting a free ride to a bunch of fucking money. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's nasty. Penalize you for getting a free ride to a bunch of fucking money. How about that?
My allergies.
My allergies. Jamal, I don't know if do you guys want to talk about any of the other basketball stuff on here before we get to Jamal stuff?
What else happened in basketball? Is there anything else? I know.
I'm just talking about that.
So what else do I have? Anything else on there related to basketball?
Detroit basketball.
Just shout out to them and like how they've been handling their rebuild with their drafts, their trades. They got a good young core now with like Cade, Sadiq Bey, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart.
That's a great young core. God damn.
Fucking Australian dude. They have a point guard too. Yeah, they got a lot of good shit going on out there. And then I like the trade they made with my team, the Knicks, to pick up I think they got Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel. Both of them are very productive. I think they help out there. Jaden Ivey.
You guys re-signed, what's his name today? Mitchell Robinson, yeah,
4 years, $60 million, yeah.
That's a lot of fucking good players. Detroit about to sneak up on somebody.
Yeah, they're probably like 2 years away from like making some splash or something.
Yeah, they're a year away from getting the media slurp where it's like, oh, Detroit's gonna win 55 games this year. Yeah, but Detroit's about to sneak up on somebody. That's a lot of like top draft picks that, unlike the Kings, where the Kings have top draft picks and we're like, are any of them good? That's a lot of players who we think are going to be good and like look good. Cade looks good. Yeah, that's great for them. Blake about to die.
You feel me?
Long day, my boy.
A lot of imaging computers, fun stuff.
Oh, you guys be tired looking at that damn screen all day, and then you come here and do it.
Just next. Move this one off. Next. Move this one off.
Goddamn. All right, Blake. Or no, I'm sorry. All right, Shakur. You want to talk to us about your zombie apocalypse theories?
Oh no, I don't know why I was thinking about this the other day, but I was thinking like, yo, so the first time I had the question was, what's the worst place? Like when it starts breaking out, and people start turning into zombies. What do you think is the worst place to be?
The grocery store.
I was thinking like a live sporting event.
Oh yeah, sporting event for sure. Yeah, something like, that many people. Yeah,
on the table in surgery, like incapacitated.
Oh shit, that might be the best place to be because you sleep. You just gonna die and not know you died.
I want to live though. Like I want to live to get back to my family. So
I would rather die and not know that I died because of a zombie apocalypse. I was thinking the grocery store because like people just already don't know how to act. You're gonna be scrambling. People gonna be running in trying to get shit. People gonna be turning into zombies in the grocery store and shit like that. A live sporting event's fucking awful, also though.
Or just lit at the booty club.
I'm at the paint, and the zombie apocalypse broke out. She was giving me a lap dance and turned around was a zombie.
drunk off your ass. It's gonna take an act of God for you to stand up. Zombie apocalypse kicks off. You got ass all around you.
Does the zombie apocalypse count as an act of God?
Nah, probably not.
No? Okay, it's probably man-made.
I mean, it might, but it's probably not the one that you need.
Facts. Dog, there's so many bad places. And I know what your next question is, but I won't spoil it. But like being in a zombie apocalypse, the benefit of it is like being in the right place at the right time. That's really half of like the battle. Because yeah, if you're at like a Seahawks game and a zombie apocalypse breaks out, the fuck are you supposed to do? Because best case scenario, you make it out of the stadium where people are turning into zombies. Then you're sitting in traffic, fighting people who want to leave a sports game and people who want to leave a zombie apocalypse. That's awful. That's an awful place to be. It couldn't be worse. A concert, sporting event, whatever. That's awful. Couldn't be worse.
No, you said what, Blake?
No, sorry, nothing. Yeah, well, can we do the headshot highlights?
Sure.
Okay. So this week I was on Basketball Reference and I was just like doing my thing because they switched it. You know, at the top where it has like just like the most random, it has random NBA players normally. They just switched it to random basketball players, so it's WNBA and NBA. And I didn't put Bonzi Wells on here, but I thought, well, he had an interesting because it's like he thought he looked like a woman a little bit. But because of that, I just went through like every single team, and all I looked at was like their top 12 players because it's really hard. They don't have just like looking at just straight headshots for this. But I thought these ones were interesting. So let me click this.
Free Brittany Griner.
Yeah. And I did not put the notes next to these on why I picked the ones that I picked, but I can tell you as I see them. So here we go. We're going to start with Bob Kaufman. See what was going on with him. 3-time All-Star. Okay. This dude is like, he was just like abnormally handsome. Pause. Whatever.
He looks like Captain Morgan with Superman's head.
It's like Pedro Pascal, man.
He does
Mandalorian dude, a little bit. Look at that jaw, though. That jaw is like incredibly fucking strong. Like that thing is squared the fuck up.
Hey, look, listen. I'm saying pause 5,000 times before I say this, right?
Oh God.
He's 6'8", 240, and his nickname was Horse.
Oh, you think just?
I'm just saying. You got to give credit where credit is due, even though I don't know where credit is due.
Died at 69, might be a freak. Crazy.
You got to give credit where credit is due.
Oh wow, died at 69. That is crazy.
I'm saying, proof in the pudding.
My man was throwing that hammer.
What's going on here? Okay, Randy Smith. I thought, this just solid. I think it was the chain, because they don't do this nowadays. People don't wear necklaces during games no more.
No.
So I'd give some credit for that. Iron Man is a great nickname too. Randy Smith.
Shout out.
Did he have accolades? Oh, 2-time All-Star, All-NBA, All-Star MVP. He's a hooper.
Iron Man. He probably played all the games. Yeah,
16.7 points a game. It's like Bob McAdoo. Everyone knows that name.
Bob McAdoo.
Thought he was white when I heard the name first, though. Not gonna lie to you. You look fed up though. That's what I think I remember about this picture. Yeah, he looks fed the fuck up.
What's his name's dad?
Who's dad?
The dude that went to UNC. He was on the Warriors like 3-4 years ago. John McAdoo.
The big light skinned dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob McAdoo is a Laker, I believe. I could be wrong. It doesn't look like it by the jersey. No, he's a 2-time champ. Yeah, he won champs with the Lakers.
Yeah, he had a Laker run.
Yeah.
Went overseas. All right, he just looked fed up in his picture. I think that's what's going on.
Something that I know will never be brought back. I love the 1970s sideburn for black men specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Don't anybody else try to appropriate the sideburns into the mustache, not the beard, but the sideburn into the mustache was fucking hard, and he got that. That's just tight.
His chin is clean right here, and he got all the other facial hair options.
I always thought that was the coolest shit as a kid.
George Mikan, everyone knows this name too. Like a fucking nerd.
That's awful fucking. That's an awful fucking headshot. My
It's like
God.
right on the
Every
TV
time I
side.
see pictures of Mikan and then you hear about the Mikan drill and you watch people do it, I know he ain't had no bitches. I know he ain't had no bitches.
I don't know if I ever saw him before this picture.
Yeah. I've only seen him because I'm a Laker fan that has looked this shit up. He has 0 bitches. I think he was like,
All right.
yeah. For a while, he's like the tallest NBA player at 6'10".
Yeah, the for real Peach Basket era. What did he kick off? 48, 49. Yeah. Short ass career too. Dang.
Hey, but he's part of the reason that the Lakers have as many titles as the Celtics. So shout out to my guy. Laker
Y'all are
legend.
stealing. All right. Jack Kleiman. I don't remember this one.
There's some good name. Oh
no, he just looked like a goofball. That's what it was.
Hey, you got to turn. You just got to turn the video on for like the last 10 minutes of this podcast because these pictures are pictures. What is that?
So the first guy we looked at had all the chin in the world. This guy has none of the chin in the world.
What is happening with him?
Jawless.
Hey, prison.
Jail.
I can tell he does things that are illegal. I don't even know what. If it's sell drugs, if it's hit women, if it's doing other stuff, it's something, jail.
All right, Grant Long. Oh, yeah, no, them goggles, bruh.
Anybody with the goggles. Anybody with the goggles.
Take the charge, man, the human vitamin, GG Long.
Anybody with the goggles, dog. I don't know where they used to find those goggles. Because you even look at like old cyclists, they didn't wear those.
You can't get them.
Look specifically for basketball, them fucking ET ass glasses. Where did he get those?
I'm not
had to be in the locker room.
Human vitamin, bro. Fuck that.
And I'm sorry because I was talking as you said the nickname, the take charge man, the human vitamin, and G Long.
Yeah, I'm not calling it human vitamin. Fuck that.
No, not human vitamin. No, all right.
No,
you're not getting your mineral supplements from another man. No.
Do you think if you click on Kawhi Leonard's page, you see Boardman gets paid as his nickname? Because like, take the charge man. One person has ever called him "Take the Charge Man," and that's made his basketball reference.
An incredibly handsome individual. That's what it was. Yep, Lou Hudson.
Okay. Understood.
Sweet Lou, Super Lou. Hall of Famer.
NBA players died at 69. That's crazy.
Freak boys, man. You got to get that shit in order. I'm telling you. Jamal, I pray for you.
He died at 69 and 274 days. He's like, y'all better kill me now. I made a promise.
Hey, Greensboro, I might be up there tomorrow, actually.
Hey, and Sweet Lou, you know he had the bitches. Both of the people that died at 69 both have the look and the nickname of they had the bitches.
He definitely was telling him, I'm Sam Cooke.
It's been a long Lou coming. That's facts. He definitely told me he was Sam Cooke. Hey, baby. Because back then, you couldn't tell people you're in the NBA and like get no bitch from it. He definitely said he was Sam Cooke. I'm so mad.
No, I know Muhammad and Malcolm. What you mean?
Crazy. I hate you so much.
Craig Ballard. All right, another chain in the game. That's what it was. I really want to see this come back.
They should. That would be dope.
LeBron does it for media day, but he never plays with it on.
Yeah, no, that's coward shit. You got to wear that shit.
But look, he's working on my favorite connection from back then. He had the sideburns that at some point touched that mustache.
Yep. No, they definitely they're pointed there. They're like, send me.
Yep. Send me.
Gus Johnson.
Is this the Gus Johnson?
Yeah, no. He look mean as mud. It's a cold piece right here.
And he died at 48. This is who they were talking about when they were like, "Oh, Draymond would get punched in the face."
Gus Johnson he was out in Baltimore too. What was he on?
Yeah. This nigga was Chris from The Wire.
He definitely kept a knife on him
in the game. In the game.
Well, that's crazy to think about dying at 48. That's not old at all.
Hell no. Hall of Fame.
He was the second pick of the second round. He got drafted 11th overall. And he's Gus Johnson Jr. What Gus Johnson Sr. look like? And how was this nigga in the Hall of Fame? I had so many questions.
This butt meaner.
What the fuck?
He had some accolades. I saw 4 NBA.
In 1961.
He's getting it in. Elvin Hayes
getting it
He's
in.
doing this thing.
also
Blake,
very serious.
Why did you pick this picture?
I don't. It's no.
He look high.
His face is blending in with his lineup.
Yeah, he a legend.
Elvin Hayes is a legend. He got a lot of accolades. He got a whole lot of accolades.
That's
a lot of picture. That's a lot of picture. That's awful.
All right. I remember this one.
This is Paul Silas'
Puka
dad, right?
shells, baby.
Come
Puka
on.
shells. He was outside.
This is the coolest nigga in NBA history. He's high as a fucking kite in this picture. Got the perfectly picked out Indian silky afro with puka shells.
He's cooked in that.
Captain Late, the snake, the late Mr. Psy. Or just Psy.
This is
just
the
Psy
coolest
if you
thing
nasty.
I've ever seen in my life. And wait, hold on. Click on his son's profile because it says Xavier Silas. It says his son was in the NBA. I need to see what his son looked like.
Boo! Oh, he might still be in. That's the Nuggets' current jersey.
He's 34 years old. Stop it.
Oh, wow.
Wait.
He had a 6-year gap. What?
Hey, Colin Kaepernick.
Or something.
What? No, because
they're gonna put that in here. They note that shit. They're gonna put that in there.
He stopped playing basketball and he turned 30 and was like, you know what I should do? I should start hooping again.
Yeah, maybe I can go back.
That just shows how nice he is.
Wow.
Maybe.
No, don't close it. Go back. Okay, never mind.
Oh, go back to him?
No. I just thought, ignore me.
All right. Yeah, no, look at the Lionel Richie shit on him, boy.
These were my favorite, I never was alive to see. Well, I wasn't cognizant to see these
warm-ups.
But the basketball warm-ups where they had the collar, that button all the way up, because niggas would wear those out. I remember my dad wearing those places where it would just be Bulls button up, fucking polo warm-up fit. That's so hard with the silky pants.
It looks right then. I don't know about wearing that shit out. I'm collar big as hell. The Brian Colangelo collar.
That's a big ass collar.
Niggas don't wear anything with a collar now. That shit was finding new slant. Hey. Brian Colangelo had the biggest collars of all time. And we never would have known about it if it wasn't for his burner account. And that doesn't get talked about enough, honestly. The son of basketball royalty and the head of USA basketball had burner accounts telling people to stop talking about his big ass collars on his t-shirts. It's crazy.
Oh my god! All right, I'm about to. What's going on?
There's nothing else, Blake. I told
no Hall of Fame entries. No one wants to. Y'all got no Hall of Fame shit.
We'll push it to next week. Push it to next week because that's going to be at least 25, 30 minutes, and Blake is about to die.
Are they shooting fireworks by y'all already?
Yes.
Fireworks.
Yeah, they're shooting fireworks up there, Blake. All right.
Fuck. Actually, on McKinley, they're doing both. Earlier, so Amara's down in Georgia right now, and the night before she left, they were shooting off fireworks, and there was a break in the fireworks, and I heard some fuck, and I was like, that doesn't sound like fireworks. And I pulled up my Citizen app, and it said a nigga got shot in the chest 8 blocks away, and I was like, this is crazy.
Should have vested up, man.
All right, but listen. So we cut the Pac-12 stuff went a little longer than normal. Not normal. A little longer than expected. Had some technical difficulties. Niggas had to deliver mail later than usual. But listen, next week we already got so much shit planned for y'all. Y'all better tap back in.
National Postal Worker Day too, man. Shout out all your postal workers. Shout out Buddy and whoever else might be a postal worker. I don't know. I don't want to out nobody.
Turn it up.
Not this nigga having to work late on his fucking holiday. That's crazy.
I didn't even think of that until you just said it, but that is ass.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Share it, post it, like it, retweet it, do all of it, download it, tell your mama and her friends to download it. We out.
Watch the boys. Bye.